Hello again, all you wonderful beings out there, and welcome back to the stream. Ren is a good boy, and I am Raw Zim, and I'm currently doing some big ambitions. Currently as Paint the African Wild Dog. You okay there, Ren?
I'm doing fine. I'm just trying not to interrupt your introduction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's okay. Ren is a good boy. Taxi! Taxi! Ah, that one stopped. Two paints fey deals. There's just 4 people working in this massive freaking office space. Ah, they did not bring me any of the things. Okay. Paints fade deals, delivery time tomorrow, add item. I'm pretty sure you were bringing me the computers. So I need 47 of them. I will also require multi-purpose chair and office desk. But those are going to be for my other office, the headquarters. I know, he is such a good boy, Delimited. Ren, sweet little Weasel. We didn't understand any of that.
I just saw the freaking clip, and it made me squeak.
I noticed. Good night, Dunbrine. Yes, that is correct, Burrito. I am indeed a fae. Most magnanimous. You may worship at my paws now. Dang it! Give me that. Also, place your troops for Stream Raiders. And make sure you all tell Ren what a good boy he is. Oh no, where did my little weasel go?
I'm still here.
Oh, there's my good boy. He is.
Oh my goodness.
Sounds good, Gabby Gab. See you soon. I cannot believe I am actually going through with this.
Doing it one at a time.
Well, I don't have a choice on that. I'm more meaning the fact that I'm actually going and setting up spaces for 50 lawyers to be working in this office building. That's what I can't believe I'm doing.
Ah.
Oh no, burrito. I've got Ren here for that. But we gotta behave. I mean, it is the first 15 minutes still.
Yes.
You hear that, Ren? You gotta be a good
yes.
boy.
I am. I'm going to be a good boy,
You gotta
Master.
be a very good boy. Show how good of a boy you are. And I'm making it so easy on you, aren't I?
Personally, I think they need to prove it a little bit more.
You know, I like this idea.
Yeah.
Well, Ren?
Yes, Master.
How are you going to prove that you're a good boy?
I'll massage your paws.
Oh, that's a good boy then. What can I say? I'm easy to please.
Yeah, unlike me, where I have to make you do multiple things.
Yeah.
But you do good.
Hmm.
Oh, are you a good boy as well there, Slacker? I mean, I know there's a good girl out there, aren't you, Frost? Okay, let's find a taxi. Taxi! Taxi! Carry me home. Oh, by the way, Ren,
Yes, Master.
you said you don't work tomorrow?
Nope.
Good.
Wow.
Hello there.
Hi, I got.
Why is that good?
We're thinking of doing some Guild Wars before games tomorrow. So a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know. Sure, I'll be there.
I love when you stream Guild Wars because I put it in the background and the music is so good.
Oh, I know. But I mean, they did get Jeremy Soule, so...
Okay. Sorry, I'm just still reeling. The conversation that melted my brain is still just like. Wait, you know what? I wanted to not rant about it. Do you mind if I rant about it?
About what?
Gab,
Fallout.
you and I both know that if I don't let you, you are going to be sitting there vibrating and whining and needing to get it out. So go ahead.
I know. I hate it. I was trying to avoid it. I was like, can I rant about something else here, but I can't. I have to get the goblin to like sit still. And if I don't get the goblin to sit still, the goblin will eat my brain.
That's interesting. But go ahead.
It's just... I think it's... I blame Bethesda for everything. I blame Bethesda for messing everything up. Because... I'm not, like, particular on, like, the purity of intent of a developer or whatnot. Like, if someone has a new idea, I want to hear that idea. If someone has a new idea with merit, I think that's valuable. What I mean by this is, the original Fallout games were good for a reason, but no game is perfect. No game is eternal. If Bethesda wants to make a new thing with Fallout, they don't just have every right to. I think it's good. I think it's good to look at a piece of fiction and a work of art and engage in introspection. Build on it, change it, fix it, do whatever you need to it, but I think it's good. I think having different interpretations of media is very, very good and healthy.
But
Thing is, in order to do that, you have to understand the media that you're working with. Now, the original Fallout games are good for a reason. I played through 1, I really need to play through 2, but I've looked a lot into 2. I know a lot of the broad strokes about it. I'm just very bad at Fallout 1, and I can't get through it, and so I haven't really wanted to play much more of 2, because I don't want to, like, beat 2 without beating 1. But suffice to say, Fallout 1 has a lot of different messages, and it loves to engage with them. One of them, the Brotherhood of Steel, is really, really obvious. Now, people like the Brotherhood of Steel because the Brotherhood of Steel is cool. It has cool armor, it has cool guns, and it has a lot of unique and colorful characters, which in an otherwise bleary, dreadful wasteland, having a place of, like, cool people who are doing cool things and have cool stuff, that's very cool. And they look cool. But at their core, the Brotherhood of Steel is, above all else, an isolationist, militant, purity-centric organization. Which is to say, to, like, simplify that, they think Wastelanders are stinky, they think they're the chosen people who will reclaim Earth when everyone else dies out. They are a criticism of militarism and isolation. They want to sit there in their bunker and wait until everyone does and then come out and claim the planet. Now that's an interesting setup. And to be fair, throughout the game, they do help you. Because they're not stupid. They recognize the pragmatic side of needing to engage with the outside world, to trade for supplies, to do things. They're just unwilling to not be isolationist and xenophobic. Which is why in the second game, they're dead in a minor irrelevant faction. The Brotherhood of Steel in the second game is not relevant. Now in the first game, they are critical for the plot, in many ways. They are critical to getting good endings, they are critical to, like, things happening. So despite their isolationism, despite their xenophobia, despite their, like, supremacist belief, they are successful because they inherited a bunch of really advanced technology that they are able to effectively use and monopolize. Which is to say, they will kill you for your technology, they don't want you to have that technology, but they're not stupid. This is why they die. This is why they become irrelevant. This is why factions like the Enclave, this is why factions like the fledgling NCR or Shady Sanson in Fallout 2, this is why they have taken over the narrative. Because the Brotherhood's ideology at its core is self-destructive. It doesn't work. You cannot literally stick your head in the sand and ignore the world's problems and wait for everything to happen around you. You have to take an active and proactive role in shaping the world around you if you want it to be a better place. Otherwise, it will roll you over. And I think Fallout New Vegas really gets to the core of this. I'm skipping a little bit of Fallout 2 because, again, I don't know it as well as I do 1 in New Vegas. But Fallout New Vegas gets to the core of it. In Fallout New Vegas, The Brotherhood of Steel is literally on the brink of death. The Mojave chapter is basically dead. They have nothing left. They have been beaten by the NCR, pushed out of a massive solar plant that they wanted to keep for themselves because they wanted to activate a literal orbital laser weapon. And they couldn't. They failed to do it. And the NCR just threw men at them until they were forced to retreat into their bunkers. Because it turns out, giving soldiers armor-piercing bullets and rifles against heavily armored troops, when you're outnumbered, you have basically no way of standing up to the NCR and you're unwilling to commit to a retreat. Yeah, you're gonna fucking die. They're just gonna kill you. And so, like, in Fallout New Vegas, the Brotherhood, which is a centerpiece of Fallout 1, and to be fair, it's a centerpiece of Fallout 3. Fallout 3 plastered the Brotherhood of Steel everywhere because they're cool and marketable. In Fallout New Vegas, they are the relevant dying faction. Mr. House, he wants them killed, and if you side with him, he'll basically ask you to kill them. If you side with the NCR, they ask you to kill them. If you side with Caesar, I believe, if I remember correctly, they ask you to kill them. Everyone wants you to either kill the Brotherhood of Steel, and only in a couple of endings do you get to, like, let them live and be kind of nice. But even then, they're still shitlords. They're bad. Unless you really, really force them to reform. And even then, you cannot get them to give up what is strangling them, which is that isolationist, xenophobic belief and view of the world. So effectively, their ideology is failure. Their ideology failed. They are a dying influence in the wasteland. They have nothing which makes them relevant. They are doomed to die. Bethesda takes a different approach, right? Because Bethesda says, okay, but what if we reform them to change? You know, what if they become active in the wasteland? And to be fair, at a surface level, ignoring the fact that they're poorly written, that they don't really have that much interesting in them, that, you know, ignoring a bunch of their actual issues, right? The way they're treated is what makes sense in making them a more successful faction. Which is to say, in 3, they're more altruistic, they're more willing to help, they want to be a centerpiece, and it makes sense. They broke off of the main Fallout, they broke off of the main Brotherhood of Steel chapter. They're outcasts. They're traveling to Washington, D.C. They're becoming separate from the Brotherhood of Steel, and it's a real opportunity to get some more nuance in them. Because to be fair, I fully agree with Fallout 1, 2, and New Vegas' message that the Brotherhood of Steel's ideology is unsustainable and doomed. And mind you, it's supported by real-life examples. Every xenophobic, isolationist country that does not break out of it has failed. Every country who's, like, forced into isolation or sanctioned to death wants to break out of those sanctions. Nobody likes burying their head in the sand, literally. So, having a change of pace into the opposite is refreshing, and it makes sense. It keeps to the original message, you know? The way to succeed is to, you know, push out into the world, try to help people, and it's a wonderful message, I think. Again, it has a lot of issues. Fallout 3 is not a very good game. I think it has way too many issues in its writing, in its plotting, in its story. Brotherhood of Steel does not get a good treatment in there, but it has, like, the seed of something brilliant. The seed of, like, a Brotherhood of Steel who is successful because they're willing to help people, because they're addressing their issues, they're dealing with their foundational problems as an ideology, as a structure, as a power group. And what better message than to want to fix a water purifier, to help people in the wasteland have access to clean water, and use that to both build yourself up as a power and to help people at the same time. It's kind of nice, actually. And in Fallout 4, they go back to basically being kind of like the original Brotherhood of Steel, where they become, like, purity-centric, xenophobic. They're not quite isolationists. They're active in the world. They're traveling around. They're, like, searching. They're interacting with others. But they're still retaining that, like, core borderline genocidal behavior. You know, oh, ghouls, even if they're smart ghouls, even if they're not non-feral ghouls, yeah, kill them all. They're ghouls, stinky. Synths, human like robots that, like, are genuinely intelligent, think like humans, yeah, get rid of them. Like, synths are impure, degenerate, or whatever. So they're back to being terrible. But Fallout 4 makes them strong and successful in many ways. There are, again, the seedlings of them having issues, but they're never addressed, they're never properly explored. And I think that's just a huge mistake, because Fallout 4 makes them look cool. You see them come in on a giant airship with helicopters, or in this case,
Aren't they whirly birds?
Vertibirds, that's what they're called.
Vertibirds.
Yeah, yeah. I get confused with Fallout Equestria's vertebrates, so like it messes with me. Yeah, like they have, again, they're looking cool and strong and powerful, and that kind of goes contrary to the message, right? Like, why are they back to being, terrible people and being successful? Because the whole point of Fallout 1 was like, yeah, right now they're doing okay, and then in Fallout 2 they eat shit and die, and in New Vegas they're irrelevant to the broader story. They're relevant because they're bothering the main players of the story. So it feels so contradictory, not just to like the original message, but to the cohesive message that the franchise has. And that's really disappointing, because it leads to the issue that I am really angry about, which is people see the Brotherhood of Steel, and they think, wow, so cool. Clearly they're the good guys. They must be right. Look, Paladin Dance is such a cool character. I love him. Never minding the fact that these people seem to have not played the game, because if you play Fallout 4, even in that game, Paladin Dance turns out to be a synthetic. He is a robot person who is indistinguishable from a real person, and they have their, like, once he realizes he's a synth, he tries to run away because he knows the Brotherhood will execute him. And the Brotherhood literally tells you, yeah, go kill him. I know he has been a loyal soldier, he has done a lot of good for us, he has been unwaveringly loyal and faithful to the Brotherhood, but he's a synth, so kill him. It's like, it's heartless, it's horrible.
Yeah.
But people think they're the good guys. And I hate it, because they're not. They're terrible people. The only redeeming factor they had was in 3. And like Burrito saying, in New Vegas, where you get them to like agree, maybe we need to help the NCR, because like, yeah, otherwise we're gonna get rolled over by the world if we don't change. The best thing you can do with the Brotherhood is either reform them or kill them to loot their gear. And people like them, and I really blame Fallout 4. And even with Fallout 2, people are like brain dead about it, because people like the Enclave. People think the Enclave was right, even though their objective was genocide. Like, the Enclave was horrible. They basically wanted to commit genocide and war crimes. And people like them because they look cool and have cool equipment and are threatening. And there's a thing to be said about enjoying, like, being the bad guy, like, I think that's a thing people can enjoy and not be, like, shit on about. Like, yeah, I enjoy being the bad guy. I enjoy looking cool and intimidating and being badass and being bad. But that comes with the caveat that you need to embrace it. Like, if you're gonna want to be the bad guy, you can't go like, yeah, I love the Enclave, they look so cool and intimidating. I understand they wanted to commit genocide, I don't like that, but I like their aesthetic, I like their appearance, I think they're fun to play as, or roleplay as in games and stuff. And then people become attached to the Enclave, so they go, they maybe weren't that bad, maybe they had a point, maybe they were right to commit war crimes. And then it starts to get a little, I don't like making the slippery slope fallacy, but it starts to go into that slippery slope, and one thing leads to the other, and suddenly someone is saying that the Enclave was right, and they're completely gone off the rails. And Fallout 4 did that for the Brotherhood of Steel, and I will never forgive Bethesda for that. Because it's their fault I have to deal with people who don't understand the Brotherhood, and who don't understand what the point of them is in the Fallout games. And it's almost always the exact same people who think that the United States in Fallout was good. And I'm just like, please, no. Fallout does not encourage, like, corporations. Corporations are almost always the enemy in Fallout games. Where do you even come up with this idea? How do you interpret media like this?
Yeah, even the show like has it to where it's like the Vault-Tec is even the ones that were pushing the war against China too. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's implied. And like, even if you ignore it from the show, in the games, like Vault-Tec literally commits inhumane experiments on the vaults because whatever ideological reason they have. But like they do, they're like, oh, what happens if we make this vault threaten to kill everyone unless they sacrifice someone every year? Will they actually sacrifice someone every year, or will they all die? And you're like, why would you do that? And their goal, apparently, according to game, is just that they want to figure out what went wrong with society to be able to remake society in the future by running all these inhumane experiments. And you're like, so your goal is to help people survive in vaults, and then you're gonna subject them to like torturous experiments sometimes without informing them, without their consent, solely so that you can try to figure out how to rebuild society, I guess. And it fails too, mind you. Like, it fails. Fallout is literally the history of so much of things failing and so many ideologies failing, because obviously they do. If you try to like exploit people in your weird elitist view of I need to help build a better society with the suffering of people, who cares about like normal people, like, yeah, no shit, it's gonna fail. The most successful vaults were the ones that were able to just open up to the world and be like normal people, and not get immediately raided and destroyed. Like, even some of the successful vaults are like so shitty once they get into the wasteland. Like the boomers in Fallout New Vegas, their dream is to rise a bomber from the bed of a lake and bomb people. That's what they want. That's their dream come true. They're the most Americans that have ever American. And I can kind of respect the hustle, but also like, bruh. So I'm mildly incensed at Bethesda, and I'm incensed at people who don't have media comprehension or literacy, because I fully respect people's ability and the fact that it's completely reasonable that if you want to interpret media, you can do it in any way you want, so long as you have evidence for it, so long as you have an interpretation of the text that can support your evidence. I am actually fully wholeheartedly in favor of like pushing the limits of what the media is trying to say, of trying to adopt a new point of view for it, or like trying to view things from a perspective that's kind of not intended, but that you think kind of still works. Like, I like these things. I love pushing the boundaries of media interpretation, namely because I'm one of the people who loves doing that. But there's interpreting media in a new or different way, and then there's just being wrong about things. So at its core, people just have a skill issue. I need to learn to interpret fiction. Thank you, that's my spiel for today.
Thanks for coming to Gib Gab's TED Talk.
Do you feel better now, though?
A little bit. I needed to
Good.
get that out of my system.
Good, good.
Let me actually eat and breathe.
Sometimes
Hey,
that's
Ren.
all we... Yeah?
Refill my water.
Sure? Uh... Uh... Um... Um... Can I have Rex's help?
Sure.
I think you just need to squeeze Ren a little. Just like take the ducky and go bloop, and wait for the water to not be.
Yeah.
Because it really reminds me, I really need to watch the Fallout TV show. I'll get around to it someday.
I do too. I've heard really good things about it.
Yeah, I
we should watch
finished it, and yeah, I recommend it.
I know a single spoiler about it, and that's it. I just avoided spoilers completely by virtue of not interacting with anything about it at all.
Alright. We only had to let go of 8 of those lawyers that I just hired. Because they demanded stuff from me.
I love how you've decided to be like, hey, I'm gonna hire you. Okay, give me stuff. No, fired. And you're doing it to like the people who could best sue you.
Hey, there's 8 of them that I fired over that, and I got 32? No, 42 of them left.
Okay, but there are diminishing returns to lawyers. You know?
You're adorable.
No, you're adorable. So is your pet.
You're my pet too.
I know, but the fact that you literally called me from my stream to get you some water is adorable.
Oh no, I did not do that.
You might as well, your pet did. Ren's a cutie. He really would go all the way to my stream just to get you some water.
Oh my god, that's adorable.
Here you go. I'm willing to stop playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, one of my favorite games of all time, mind you, just so I can get you hydrated.
Hey Rex.
Yes,
Rex, you're a good boy. I love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rex!
Red saying thank you too.
I love how you say thank you louder as if Rex could hear you by speaking louder and stuff, which is like blasting Zim's ears.
Actually, it depends on where Rex is.
That's fair. But I'm
If he's over here hugging me and you talk loud enough, he can't hear you.
Fair enough. Oh my god, that's a good idea. Frost is a great idea. Zim. Squid Game with all of your pets, but the prize is to be called the goodest boy.
Oh my goodness.
No.
Damn. I thought that could make for a banger TV show. Like American Ninja Warrior, but it's Bottom Ninja Warrior. You have to admit, look, like Bottoms will do impressive things when they really have a result to strive for. Like being petted by their master.
Oh, I'm very well aware of that.
Yeah, so we need to like put that to good use in like, you know, reality TV shows, clearly. I feel like we could solve it. Oh my god, wait. Is that why the IT industry is furries? Like, think about it, right? Clearly. Like,
I'm thinking, and I have no idea what you're going on about.
Like, okay. You know how, like, working in IT is super thankless, but also, like,
Yeah.
usually pretty high pay. Usually. So, here's my theory.
I was gonna say, I mean, I work for a school system. My pay is okay, but yeah, it's definitely thankless. In fact, like, I moved over from being like a field IT technician to like a Chromebook repair technician in a warehouse recently, because I'm sick and tired of how entitled teachers can be.
Oh yeah.
Don't get me wrong, like teachers, yeah, like they do not get paid enough for the shit they put up with, but fuck's sake, just because you're having a shit day doesn't mean you have to make my day even shittier.
Yep.
I'll admit, I'm very thankful where I work at. Most of the professors aren't like that. But I will also admit, 90% of the reason we don't get shit on is because we have a really flexible structure in our IT department that emphasizes results above all else. So, like, I don't really care how you do it, just go fix their issue. It usually gets a lot more sway than we have to do it by the proper tracks and the manual, which we don't have, and the method of operation, which we don't have. We just kind of ad hoc things.
Yeah.
The good thing is, we solve people's problems. And I've already heard the really nasty comments of like people comparing us to like, yeah, I used to work for like a primary school and the IT department would take like a week to fix my issues, and here they take like 2 days. This is so much better. And I'm like, my God, those poor like IT workers at that school. I cannot imagine how annoying that must be. Or like, imagine being frustrated that it took the IT department a couple of hours to notice an issue, and I'm just sitting here like, we have 3 people in this department.
Yeah. Like, when I was a field technician, I had to watch over 5 schools in total by myself.
Jeez.
Yeah. Two of them are like the biggest schools in the entire county.
Wow.
In fact, my area was like the biggest area of all technicians. But yeah, like, and yeah, like. But and the fact that teachers were still complaining about me, that I know they were complaining about me because I couldn't get their some teachers. It was mostly particularly this one school saying that I wasn't getting their tickets done in time. when I'm trying my best, when I'm like going over 5 schools in one department by myself. And as I said, I have like the biggest area, out of the entire county. And and they also don't understand that my schedule is now like not every time like I have something planned where I want to go and take care of this issue, some issues. They don't understand that like I get things that come up to where it throws all that out the window, where I have to go, oh, well, this happened, now I have to go and because they're a priority, or, oh, someone from central office called, I have to go take care of this immediately.
Yep. They don't understand that.
Yeah.
On one hand, that makes me feel so lucky for my job right now. Because I sit there and it's like the same building or online. I don't have to travel between departments. But it's still like 1,600 people. And I usually have to manage alone for like 4 to 6 hours a day.
Yeah, and they're also complaining about saying that I wasn't communicating with them, saying that I fixed the problem. When I do, in fact, when I put in the ticket, when I close a ticket, our ticket system informs them on their Gmail, because every teacher, every school board employee has a Gmail that's given to them by the school board. That it automatically sends them a message saying that we resolved the issue. It's like, so how is that not communicating to them?
You should keep receipts. Yeah.
Yeah. With this one school, I would even they had mostly printer issues, and if I would always tell them in person that, hey, I fixed the issue, and if they weren't there, I would even leave my test print on their desk, showing them that I did finish it, that I did fix their issue. So yeah,
people are just
entitled.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, that's why I'm kind of glad with this. At first I was like, I'm probably not gonna like this job because I'm stuck in a warehouse all day. But now, once I learn about this, I'm like, you know what? Fuck these people. I don't care anymore.
Yep.
See, the thing that I sometimes just don't get right is that attitude specifically. It's like the same thing with like a lot of service employees, right? Like, but especially for teachers, I don't understand it. Because if you're frustrated with the IT department taking too long, you complaining about it to the board might actually lead to them hiring more people? Question mark?
Yeah.
Like, if you levy your complaints properly, you could help fix the issue instead of just whining it to the person who literally can't fix your issues.
Yeah.
And I know that because, at least in my workplace, that happens. They're complaining, not that we are not responding quickly. In fact, most of the time, I'm actually really appreciative for the fact that they understand that, hey, yes, we might take a couple of days to get back to you because we have a lot of bottlenecks in our ticket solution, and things
Mhm.
aren't easy for us. And they're usually understanding, and I appreciate that. As far as I know, though, they're not complaining to us. They're complaining up high about, like, hey, you fired 40% of the IT department, which is to say that you fired 2 out of the 5 people who work there, and things are a lot slower now. This is your
Mhm.
fault, fix it.
Yep.
And it turns out when every professor complains at the same time, that holds a lot more sway. Of
Yeah.
course, that's also just doable because we are really quick about responding otherwise. Like, we don't usually let them, like, sit there and that's it. Because why would we? I want to solve your problem. Help me help you. I know a couple of them have gotten frustrated that sometimes they send a ticket, like, as they're gonna go out to lunch. And before they've left the office for lunch, I'm already there like, hey, can you show me the issue? And they're like, do you mind if I go to lunch first? And if they tell me I'll be back in 40 minutes, I'm back there in 39 minutes waiting for them to enter their office, and they're like, let me sit down. And I'm like, okay, I'll let you sit down.
Okay, you've sat down. What is the problem? Come on, hurry up.
Actually, sometimes I just want to solve their problem immediately because I don't want to deal with it later because I have things scheduled for later.
Yeah, I'm the same way too, where I'm just like, I'd rather get this done out of the way quickly before it becomes like another issue, like becomes an issue where I'm like, okay, I gotta go take care of this. Oh, something happened. I gotta go take that now.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, half my struggle is getting them to, like, go at the pace that I wanted to go. Like, I had a professor whose classroom I had to set up at 6 p.m. And I told him, hey, can you help me set this up like half an hour early? Like, just be there really quickly half an hour early. I just want to test this, make sure everything works, and you're good to go. Because I know he gets there half an hour early.
Yeah.
He got there at 6:05 p.m.
Of course.
Yeah. And I gotta say though, I'm gonna feel bad for the guy who's gonna be taking over for the guy who's taken over my area now, because he's also, before I also had like my original era was this. I actually had 3 big schools. I ended up swapping 1 big school for a small school because I couldn't. The workload was getting too much for just me.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, when they gave him my area, they gave him my original area, not the trade-in area where I have a small school. So yeah, he's gonna have to deal with 3 big schools by himself, and I'm just going like, oh,
He's probably gonna quit.
probably yeah.
I mean, look, if that position goes unemployed for long enough, they'll have to make a change. Surely, right? Right?
I mean,
Yeah.
Right?
They're just gonna probably hire the technicians that don't know what's going on with the schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, it just sucks. Like, I still think that I hate it in particular for school systems because it's so self-destructive in the way that, like, a school will actively fight to retain professors as long as possible or teachers as long as possible, and that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's
Well-
like all the supporting infrastructure for that. Nah, that's all disposable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the previous superintendent of the school board, like he was actually pretty chill. Just like, don't like piss him off and you'll be fine. But like, I mean, not a lot of people were happy about the new superintendent because like when she became it, she was like, I'm about to clean house. So yeah.
That's a way to get in everyone's good mood.
Yeah, yeah. No one was happy when she took over, and yeah, like, and not to mention, we're also fighting a bit against the state, because my governor is terrible. In fact, he pretty much wants public education to fail because he wants to go from public to private. Yeah,
That's not gonna. That's just gonna make everything worse.
yeah, my governor he's not a very good person. Like
No.
he's one of those people that are like those self-made businessman. You know, he'll definitely run things properly in office.
I'm a self-made
Yeah.
businessman. I only had help from my millionaire parents.
Yeah. In fact, that's kind of like he got elected as my governor right around 2016. So yeah, right around this certain someone. So yeah.
Classic. I do admit, I think there are many things that can make people terrible, but I just people who want public education to become private are just some of the worst people on the planet.
Yep.
I know public education isn't perfect. I wholeheartedly believe it needs a lot of change. Especially American public education needs a lot of reform. It's really not hard to find horror stories for a good reason.
It's also, though, like, part of the problem here is the fact that they wanted to basically go the same route that hospitals have. Because, I mean, it's been this way for a long time for
Yeah.
hospitals the way they are, but there was a time where we didn't have to deal with insurance and all this other stuff. And literally the only reason that it costs so much to have a basic healthcare now is because of all of these freaking companies, because of all this lobbying and the insurance companies being like, hey, this is a money-making scheme.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know what's like really, really stupid about it all? Do you know who some of the biggest early people pushing for public education were? It wasn't just like teachers and ideologues. It was businessmen. Because their logic was, you know what? If we can get the state to educate people in like mathematics, reading, writing, and whatnot, we can make middle managers less expensive because their skill set will be less valuable. Because now everyone knows how to read and write and do mathematics. Which is, in fact, if you're ever wondering why a lot of, for example, standardized tests in the US are reading, writing, mathematics. Nothing else. No sciences.
Yeah, but the whole reason there is very simple. And now they're looking at it like, hey, now these people are getting too smart for us. Now they're actually thinking for themselves. They're actually saying, oh, wait, now they're fighting against us and wanting us to treat them properly. Ugh.
Well, that's because, like, despite everything, their original the original reasoning behind that never included better education. It was mainly a skill training thing.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
want people to be educated
Like,
from a young age,
But yeah, I was gonna say, but yeah, they pretty much just want a good, compliant workforce. They don't really want, they don't want free-thinking, educated people. That's
they want public education to train their workers, not to actually make educated people. Which, but yeah, I mean, it pretty much, like Marlon said, it backfired. But like, it wasn't even just a normal thing. Like, it was specific. Like, the kind of people who bother you in school to like learn for the sake of learning, who want to teach you philosophy and that is the kind of people who fought for that. And that's a thing that I really respect. And like, I really wish people weren't so dumb about it. I fully agree. Public education needs change. But I really have always had a passionate dislike for that attitude of like, public education should teach me how to pay taxes and get a job. Not how to not about the sciences or philosophy or whatnot. Like, no, you want to learn that too. You don't just want your public education to be, how do I cook meals, how do I pay taxes, and how do I get a job? That's exactly what we don't want it to be.
That, I definitely will say those should be part of it.
Yes.
Part of it.
Hello there, Swole. Welcome in. That should definitely be part of education, which is one thing that if I could just add one thing to public education, that would be it.
Right.
Just a general adult, literally just, they could call it Adulting 101. Just teach people how to do taxes, how to change a tire, how to cook, you know, etc., etc. All those things that are supposed to be taught by your parents, but, well...
Yeah.
Some
parents don't even bother with their kids, so yeah.
I wasn't taught that at all.
Same.
Shoot, I still don't know how to change a tire.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it has to be all encompassing, and I actually think there is I think it's good to have certain classes on.
Oh, one of my somebody was wanting a mouse pad, and I'm like, oh, you better not be a freaking lawyer. At least, thankfully, it's one of my
lawyers and their mouse pads.
Thankfully,
their lust for mouse pads.
Thankfully, it is one of my programmers, which I am A-okay with getting one for one of them, because there's only 6 of them. Or only 6 desks. Not 50.
Because if one person get a mouse pad, they all want a mouse pad.
Well,
you will get a mouse pad, and you will get a mouse pad, and you will get a mouse pad.
Part of the reason, though, Merle, that I very much feel, very much want an adulting class, is also to keep up with new standards. Because, like, my parents did try to teach me how to do taxes. Then I went out and actually did taxes. They were completely different from the way my parents had to do them.
That's where, like, I genuinely think schools can often have a very different role than they also have traditionally had. I mean, mind you, to me, I think a lot of this can also be handled by tertiary education. But that's a little different can of worms, because in the US it's not mandatory, and I genuinely think having some tertiary education should be mandatory. With changes. I don't think forcing everyone to get a bachelor's degree right now is, like, good. I don't think it would be healthy.
Yeah,
because there are people who just don't, you know.
Well, it's more because the freaking cost of that would be so much more than people can afford.
We're assuming we'd make it like public education. You just go and that's it. State covers it.
Yeah, but you know that's not going to happen.
Right. So being realistic, I really wish tertiary education would cover a lot of this, because I think it's a lot more fitting than high school to, like, learn to pay taxes when you actually have to pay taxes. To, like, the first year you pay taxes, you go to your local college or university, and they give you instructions, and they help you through it, and they teach you how to do it, and there you go. You've learned how to pay taxes, literally paying your taxes.
Yeah.
You don't need, like, school though. That would, to me, be the ideal, especially because I guarantee you, a high school is probably not going to have a tax expert on hand who's a teacher. University is almost guaranteedly going to have some sort of professional tax person who's also teaching there.
Well, on that front, it's like this could be an online thing, that because every school does have at least a computer lab. So it could be something that is simply, you know, one course that everybody across the country is taking, and they just go into the computer lab and do that. But
you probably would want to make it statewide, at least for state taxes.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean, yeah. Mind you, I think a lot of this can also just be fixed with the US, with the IRS actually being, like, a normal organization. Like, I don't know if you know, the IRS recently rolled out a tax program to help people pay taxes. And the estimate is that, like, 40% of Americans who pay taxes can just use that and pay the taxes exactly. Like, you don't even need to get a tax refund. You just pay the exact amount of tax you need for that. Because, mind you, side rant, I hate people who think tax refunds are good. They're not. Yes, it's good you get your money back. You're not getting extra money. You're getting paid money because you overpaid. Yep. Getting a tax refund is not a good thing. It means you fucked up on your taxes. And you paid extra.
Well, I wouldn't say it's they fucked up on their taxes. It's more that they were probably told that that's how to do it. Like, I know my parents told me over and over, always file for 0 withholdings. So you know you're covered. That kind of thing. Like, that's
Yep,
very
that's
different.
That's what my parents told me. Just do W-2s and just have them covered for me until I get my refund back.
But also, like, to be fair, I think it's so stupid that if you just, like, if for you, they might understand it if taxes were more complicated because you're a streamer, and we know the tax system doesn't like streamers.
The tax system doesn't like people that have their own business. Or small business. They like big business.
Yes, but that's also very complicated to the specific business. So I can kind of understand that. I
hate doing
if you have a
taxes.
W-2, you don't need to, like, it shouldn't be complicated. This is automatically calculable. I know, because I automatically get my tax deducted from my paycheck, and I don't have to worry about it. It's already done and paid for. I
Yep.
don't give a shit about my taxes, because I just submit the document, and all the calculations are already done. I don't even get a tax refund. I got like $300 back, and the reason I know I got $300 back is specifically because obviously mom and dad have the tax person who does the taxes for them, and they did the taxes for me, and I looked at the tax document, and they basically paid a little bit extra so that I would get a refund, because they were going to take the pay out of that refund. I looked at the document, I read it in detail. Next year I'm using that IRS system to file taxes, because I do not want them taking a $200 commission out of the taxes that I could have filed myself by looking at the document and filling in the blanks.
Yeah.
Literally would have taken me an hour. I know, because I did it. I already did my taxes for next year. Like, I filled out the document, so unless I get another job or something, I already have my document ready for taxes. Not really. I still need the whatever the file's name was for. I still need the W-2 for next year fully, but yeah, it's easy to fill in the blanks.
And, like, I can agree with you partially on this stuff, but the fact is that the tax system is very much purposely made to be as confusing as possible.
Oh, yeah, no, it is. It 100% is. That's what I'm complaining about. I think it shouldn't. I think it doesn't need to be. I don't think anyone should spend more than, like, a day a year filing taxes. And that should be, like, sitting down, looking at what's changed between the last couple of years, just filing your taxes and doing things. It really doesn't need to be expensive or complicated or hard. You should barely even need a class. I have friends who don't know how to pay taxes because they don't. And the government just takes the tax, and that's it. They never file anything for taxes unless it's a really specific thing, like if they want a tax relief, if they want this thing or that thing. They don't touch their taxes. At all.
I mean, I don't. Because, like, it's
Taxes are so much
Convoluted.
a nightmare for me. Seriously, guys, don't become a streamer. I love streaming, but holy crap, filing taxes is so needlessly complicated for me.
And exactly, Karma. I was gonna say exactly what the Limited is gonna say. I know people in Australia. You know what they do with their taxes? They look at the fucking website where they see exactly what their tax money went every year. And that's it. They don't touch their taxes. They just get taxed. That's it. You don't look, you don't argue, you don't worry about whether you're underpaying or overpaying or whether you get a refund or not. You just, it's already done for you. You don't touch it. Unless it's a really complicated situation for you.
I remember seeing a video about like how overly complicated the U.S. like tax system is, and honestly, that's also another reason why it's so complicated is because tax filing companies want you to spend money on them so they can do your taxes, so they can do your taxes for you.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was going to say to Karma.
Yeah.
It is unironically greed. It's made to be really convoluted for lower class people, so you hire, tax companies who then take out a commission out of whatever taxes you pay, because they'll tell you, hey, look, don't worry about it. We take care of everything. In fact, we'll do it for free. We'll take a $50 commission out of the $500 tax refund we're gonna get you. So you're gonna get $500 free dollars if you hire us. We'll take 50, you get $450. Literally, that's what they'll tell you.
Uh-huh.
And the fact that that tax refund comes from having them overpay on your taxes. I hate them all. They should all burn. Not literally.
No, literally.
Maybe. No, look, we cannot condone arson on stream.
Okay,
Why
fair.
not?
We are not officially saying that they should be burned.
Metaphorically, purely and uniquely, they should burn in the fires of hell for their greed.
They
can say
absolutely should not be burned at all at the stake. For the witches that they are. No, definitely
Don't
not.
insult witches. Witches have riz.
Fair.
Also, their names suck. That's what I hate the most. Like, oh, what is your tax company called? TurboTax. Like, bro, can you at least come up with something cooler? I don't know. But yes. Welcome to late stage capitalism. Thank you for limiting. You stole my words.
Yep.
I was about to say them.
And that's the end of another TED Talk from Get Good.
Yeah, I go through so much pain with my taxes every year. I know I'm supposed to, like, legally I know I'm supposed to be paying every quarter, but I cannot go through that much work every single year. Or let alone 4 times a year. Because it's not like it takes much more time. It's not going to take any less time to file it 4 different times.
You
What?
really should start playing Ace Attorney to see if you can attract a tax lawyer to your audience. You can do a tactical parking. When you're in this situation, click on park and then you can like flick to the right and then you can just like run in front of that vehicle.
You know, that's a great idea.
Yeah, tactical parking maneuvers.
It's like I'm on the way to the courthouse to deliver the updated autopsy report. Funny enough, since you mentioned the Ace Attorney series, like I'm doing voice acting with this group, and we're doing like pretty much reading lines from the Ace Attorney games. We're at the last the main series of the game, last main series games right now. We're at Spirit of Justice right now. In fact, we're at the second case of the game.
Sick. We were doing a in the Fallout Equestria TTRPG we went to Brazil and we had an Ace Attorney series of court cases in there. And it was brain breaking.
Yeah.
But it was
I
great.
gotta say that, yeah. Right now, with the group so far, I mainly voice the judge. He's pretty much been my main guy so far. Though I occasionally get to voice a couple of witnesses or even sometimes the bad guy.
Oh, cool.
I for some reason get the bad guy a lot. Like my latest bad guy that I voiced, it was this guy is not kidding. His name was Peace, Love, and Understanding.
I happened to put the mouse pad on the right desk the first time.
Nice.
Success. Or, as my YouTube inspiration would say, suckies.
Yeah. But yeah, like I hate that. Like I know this is a bit of a spoiler, but yeah, the guy was pretty much like a temple monk. Yeah, but it turns out he had a thing for heavy metal, surprisingly. I don't know. It was a bit of an interesting guy voicing.
You should hit us up. Give us one of your voice lines.
But yeah,
What?
I think how I voiced him, I was trying to sound like a little bit like Bruce Springsteen for some reason. Yeah, like that's how I was going with the voice. And God, when the metal part of the guy came out, I was like, oh shit, how do I keep it going? Because I was not expecting this guy to come out like singing like death metal, like with like I think it was called a dalama. That's the interest he was playing. He was playing a dalama.
I keep forgetting sometimes that he's Japanese.
Yeah.
They do weird shit.
Because like the place had like the setting of this new place that Phoenix goes to has like this like Tibetan Indian kind of or like Tibetan setting to it. Yeah. And
really quick, yes, Neo. Just remember, Ace Attorney's legal system is based on Japanese legal system, and for many reasons, Japanese legal system is basically broken.
yeah, well, it's kind of a bit of a weird like Japanese American mismatch legal system. So yeah. Yeah, so it's like what if America and Japan like had a baby and now we got Jamaica. And that's where that's where Ace Attorney is takes place in for the most part. But yeah, like as Gibby have said, like Japanese legal system is broken. That's why like defense attorneys are kind of like viewed as the good guy a lot in the game because they're pretty much yeah. It's like if you're like especially in the Ace Attorney games, like if they find you guilty, you're dead. It's the death penalty.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I almost forgot. I was gonna say what I was gonna say like an hour ago. I was gonna say something about IT and furries. Right. I now understand why so many people in the IT industry are furries. So like you know how like 90% of furries are apparently bottoms. That explains it. Like most IT people are just bottoms being told like, hey, do good things, do this job, and they do it and they make money. So clearly that's why the world works. It's just people who work in IT being told to do things, then they do them because they're bottom furries. Not me. I'm not a bottom.
See, at work, I am definitely not a bottom.
You're spiritually a bottom. I'm sorry.
I'm sure you're definitely not a bottom. And you wouldn't
No, I'm saying
know
at
if
work.
I came...
At work, you're not a bottom. Okay.
Yes.
So
But to be fair, I can defend that and I can understand that. I when I'm here at home, I'm just like I'm shy bean. I don't want to like hurt people. And then when I'm at work, the other week, like somebody royally tilted me because, okay, basically, they asked for help with something on Monday. I got to work on Monday, and I sent them an email immediately. I tried to call them, and I sent them an email immediately. Tuesday came and went by and nothing. Now, on Wednesday, I was going to send them a follow-up because I normally send a follow-up email after 2 days. That Wednesday was a holiday. We were closed. So I got to the office on Thursday thinking I'm going to send them the email today and see if that can get them to respond because I really want to solve their issue because it seemed like a pressing issue. And I come home to my supervisor being like, hey, why did you help this person? I'm like, I did. I sent them an email. They just never replied. And he's like, okay, CC me in these kind of future emails and go ahead and reply to them and say that you did send an email. And I knew the professor was going to get in trouble because unbeknownst to me, I checked the email and I saw that the people asking for help. So like basically one other professor had asked on behalf of that professor. Like, hey, this professor needs help. Okay, I can help with that. But then since clearly this professor didn't get any help and they were still having issues, she CC'd the dean of the university. The interim chancellor, in fact. Or the chancellor, yeah. And I'm sitting there like, okay, basically the leader of the university is not involved in this. I pull up the email and it's basically like, hey, I'm sorry I wasn't able to get to this professor in time. I sent them an email on Monday at exactly the timestamp that I sent the email, but they never replied. If you still need help, please send an email to our help desk email. But as far as I understand, my supervisor already helped you deal with this. And basically just like, I sent you an email, she just didn't read and reply. Not my fault, what do you want me to do about it? I said it politely in the email, but I ain't taking shit from anybody. If you don't reply to my emails, I don't give a shit, I'm throwing you to the bus. Or in this case, a student, I sent them an email on June 11th, give or take, with credentials for their platforms, and they worked. You know how I know those credentials worked? Because one of the professors is like, this student has been having issues for months and nobody has helped her. And I'm like, I recognize that name. When I recognize the name, that doesn't mean good news. Because usually I recognize people's names when they're being a pain in the ass.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I pulled up her email, and effectively, I sent her credentials. And I'm like, do they work? So I open up an incognito tab so the login doesn't stay saved. I copy-paste the email, I copy-paste the password, and it works immediately. No issues at all. The emails I send when I reset people's password contain specific instructions on how to get to the platform, or links on how to get to the platform, and little brief descriptions of what each platform does. Just for anyone who's new or anyone who needs a refresher, because we got a lot of old students who want to access their credentials just so they can get a transcript or whatnot, or a lot of new students. So I'm very deliberate with the way I present my information, and I'm very clear about it. And that student was saying that their credentials weren't working, and I'm like, nah, if you're gonna say I ain't helping you, I ain't taking shit from you. I emailed the student, and I CC'd the professor, and it's like, hey, your credentials still work as of June 11th. Please let me know if you still need help. You're just like, nah, if you're telling your professors that you're taking the fault, I ain't taking any fault for you. Fuck you.
And that's why you need to have receipts for those type of stuff.
Oh, I do. The only reason I didn't CC and forward that email to the professor is because it has their credentials. I don't want to share that email. That's private unless they really want to escalate it there. But they can't escalate it there because they're going to lose. Because I already took screenshots of me logged into their account at the day that I sent that email as proof of, like, your credentials work. Look, I literally logged into your account.
I do not have room in that building for executive office desks. Now the programmers are wanting executive office desks.
Aww.
I remember, this is also during my first year, working, and this isn't like was never my fault at all, but like there was this one, most of my issues are printers because of, because apparently, especially at my high school, it's like, almost every teacher has their own, like, even though we have the large heavy duty printers and copiers, for some reason some teachers just want to have, like, all these teachers want to have a personal printer, even though, like, honestly, it shouldn't be that shouldn't be the case. but apparently like they do, and but it's mostly because they just pretty much don't want to leave their rooms, like to go print stuff out when they need to. They'd rather just be like, they prefer convenience.
Convenience,
Over-
laziness, and all that.
Yeah. And because of that, they asked the bookkeepers to buy them printers. And because of this, the bookkeeper tends to buy printers outside the bin, which they shouldn't be doing. Because if something happens to them, they break, most I can do is tell them that I'm sorry, this printer we do not support this printer, I really can't do anything about it. The bookkeeper, this same situation happened with her assistant. I did the best I could, but no matter what I did, it would not fix it. I could not fix it. And then we believe that it's something that it was something to do with the network card in the printer, and we couldn't fix it because, as I said, it's outside the bin. We do not have the replacement parts. And I kept telling them that. This bookkeeper just goes, well, I had the same model, why does this one break all of a sudden when I've had this one for years? Like acting like all printers are the same. And eventually she just got so frustrated with me telling her that I've done everything I could. And at the point she's like fed up and just goes, well, I guess we'll just fix it ourselves. And at that point I'm just like calling my boss going, hey, this person's being a huge problem. I've done everything I can. I've told you everything that happened. I hope and yeah. Luckily I actually have a good boss and he understood like what I did and everything. I did everything I could. They're just being unreasonable.
No, it's good. You're gonna see exactly what happens when people say that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it happened at your end, but on my end, whenever people try to fix the printer without telling us, for some reason, and I don't know what people's obsession with this is, people would try to get printers to work by jamming pencils into them.
What?
What? I've actually never seen that.
Yeah, I never seen that before either.
No, I've heard of
So
that.
imagine this. Imagine this. The paper gets stuck. I arrive at the scene. I don't know what happened because nobody ever admits to having jammed a pencil in the printer. For some reason, nobody wants to tell me what happened. It's just that I arrive, and I look through the printer because the paper can get jammed in a couple of different places. So I'm opening up the printer. I'm not a printer technician. I just know the very basis of printer troubleshooting. We're technically supposed to call the company for that, but we don't give a shit. It's gonna take me longer for waiting for that guy to get here, service the printer, and then deal with the problem that it is for me to just go to where it's stuck and pull the paper out carefully. It saves me time. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But I go there, and I open up a couple of compartments, and I see that the paper is stuck. And I see the tip of a pencil broken off, jammed into the printer, having broken off a part. And I slowly pull out the paper, and it works. And I just stare at the broken piece like, the printer can't work without that. How the fuck do you break a piece of the printer, jamming a pencil into it, trying to unstuck a paper that you can just pull out with your fingers? I don't know why or how or what the thought process is, and I've been dying for someone to be honest with me because I just want to see what they're trying to do because I don't understand it.
I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I don't understand that logic at all. It doesn't make any sense.
Right?
Oh, it makes no sense, but yeah, people, it's one of those kind of folklore type things where they, for some reason, somewhere along the way, they were told that's how it works, and yeah, that's not how it works.
I'm just...
And I kid you not, I know this is not an isolated incident because we've had like 3 different printers in 3 different departments somehow, some way, tell us that someone jammed a pencil in the printer and trying to unstuck a piece of paper and it broke. And I'm just sitting there like, how? Why? Where do you get this idea? What are you even trying to do? Because I can see the paper. They opened up the compartment with the paper, and I guess they're trying to jam in a pencil to like pull out the paper like a lever or a fulcrum, and it just didn't work and it broke. And I'm just like, you can just pull the fucking paper, please. Or even better. There is a really easy way to get that printer fixed. Send us an email to our help desk. I'm not even joking. Literally, someone told me they spent 2 hours trying to get the printer unstuck before they gave up and sent a ticket. I saw the ticket in 5 minutes. I walked over. I opened the printer. I pulled out the paper. And within 10 minutes, I had that paper unstuck. And he looked at me. He said, I spent 2 hours trying to fix that. Next time, I'm not even going to bother. I'm just going to send the email. And I'm like, yes, that is exactly what you should do. Please do not try to fix the printers.
I mean, and it's not that difficult to fix it in the first place. I'm not a technician, and yet the place I work at, when a printer gets jammed, I just open the sleeves, like, you know, the junction that connects it, open that up, pull the paper out, close it, there, fixed.
Right? If you can do it, power to you. I just have to tell people, please do not touch the printers. Let us do it, because if you break it, that's a you problem. You can get fired if you break a $10,000 printer. I'm not gonna get fired because I'm not gonna break the printer, because I know how to service the printer for exactly this issue.
See, and that's the difference between that person and me. I know what I can fix, and I know what I can't fix. If there's something I cannot fix, yeah, I'm just gonna go straight to the IT department. Like, hey, this printer's broken, need fixed now.
I will also admit, people at the place I work at are very smart. They have been very, very, very clever about approaching us as an IT department, and I respect the hustle for them. A couple of them have started stocking more chocolates. I'm not saying we're bribable, because we're not. At the end of the day, work is still work. I'm just saying, if you stock chocolate, and you let us grab chocolate when we're on the way out, and you have an issue, I might be really happy to go and fix it. There is a reason I love helping the student affairs department at the university. They always have chocolate.
Oh.
And also, the dude who's in charge is really cool, and I've helped him out enough, like, one-to-one when he has issues, because I'm also the kind of person who's like, I know I should be keeping an eye on the ticket system 24/7, but, like, I'm going to sit down and explain to you exactly how to open an Adobe Acrobat document. I will sit down and explain to you how to use OneDrive.
Oh, yeah, like, I know there's a good amount of teachers who, like, refuse to learn how to use their Google Drive to store their documents. They won't even do it, and they'll put in tickets and making, like, some of us do it. And at that point, like, we're just going like, okay, we're frustrated. This is how you do it. Don't make tickets for us, asking for us to do this.
I've actually really, really learned to value people who actually are willing to learn, not just because it saves me time, but because in my experience, it actually makes other people want to learn. Because it makes a world of a difference when, like, oh, look, I have to do this really tedious task, and everyone in the department does it like that, and nobody wants to listen to me. And then I show one of them how to do it differently, like, hey, how do I save my files on OneDrive? Okay. Honestly, if you really want to do it quickly, based on your workflow, by the way you do things, because you already have OneDrive synced to your computer, so when you save a document, just click Save to OneDrive, instead of saving it in your C drive, finding the document, moving it over to your OneDrive folder, and then organizing your OneDrive folder. Just
Oh,
use the
oh,
built-in functionality that Word have to save directly to OneDrive.
oh! I got a good one. My boss, they needed this one person to send them a PDF of a document that they got, and for some reason, this person did not know how to attach PDFs to a fucking like from the document. So what did he do? He printed out the document from the PDF and then scanned it and then he attached it to the email. And my boss is like, "Did you just scan a document like the document that was a PDF already and print it out?" Good. But yeah, I just like really.
I'll do you one better. I was helping a student log into her email, into her platforms, etc.
Hmm.
We were encountering a lot of issues, and normally when I find someone who's like, they're clearly struggling with technology, they're clearly having a hard time, I have one of two default responses, which is either come in person and we'll solve it out if we can. Like if I can just arrange it in person meeting, because I know some people genuinely struggle trying to do it over the phone. They're unfamiliar, they're nervous, they don't really want to deal with it. And I spent an hour on the phone with her, mind you.
Hmm.
One of the things we were struggling with is she mentioned an issue, which in particular could be one of two different things. One of them requires fixing it as soon as possible because it's a really tedious issue that takes forever. And I knew I had a very good chance of getting it fixed immediately if it was the really bad issue. If it was just the meh issue, then it was just going to be down to troubleshooting in person, because I know that student is basically tech illiterate. I've dealt with her before. I already know her. So either way, it was going to take forever to fix it. I just wanted to get it done now.
Hmm.
And I changed her password for her Microsoft Office basic, and I tested it and it worked. Okay, so her credentials work. This is really weird. And we spent an hour back and forthing, and one of the things that made it take forever, she logged into her email in her computer, and her laptop, and I was trying to troubleshoot something with her laptop, preventing her from logging into our stuff. And the way she was communicating with me, because she has a MacBook and I can't use Quick Assist, and her MacBook is really outdated and I can't use Teams, she was taking pictures with her phone of the computer screen. When I asked her to just take a screenshot on her laptop, and I tried to explain that you could just press Shift Command 3, it took about 5 minutes of trying before she just sent me a picture on her phone of her keyboard being like, which keys exactly? And I just went like, it's fine, just keep sending it.
Oh no.
And then a problem occurred because I changed her password. She logged into her email on the computer, and that's how I knew it worked. Aside from the fact that I tested it. And suddenly she's starting to send me emails, but I'm not receiving the emails. And I suddenly go, oh, have you logged in again on your phone? No, I haven't. Okay, can you log in again on your phone? Okay. And like, let's say about 5 minutes pass, and I'm waiting for her to respond, and then she goes, how do I log in again on the Office app? And I'm just like, oh my god. Would you like to just come in person and we can solve all? Also, I already have a list of all the problems she has. I know how to solve almost every one of them. I had spent an hour on the phone with her, and we hadn't solved a single one of her issues except getting her on a single platform on her phone. I don't blame her.
Sounds right.
I fully wholeheartedly actually do not blame her. I'm not angry at her. I am just tired.
Yeah. Luckily for me, I barely have to deal with students. It's mostly, I always pretty much mostly deal with teachers. The last time I had to deal with students was at one point at my high school. We were getting a lot of tickets in from the school saying that the students could connect to the Wi-Fi on their Chromebooks. And this was happening for a few days, and we've been trying to troubleshoot this issue for days, and yeah, and it's like I was working as best I could with the students, like but yeah, they like but yeah, they didn't know what was going on, and I was trying to figure out what's going on too. Like but the main issue was also like dealing with my network administrator, because he's one of those people that's like, if you give him an answer that he doesn't like, he gives you a paragraph back telling you why you're wrong and how you're wrong. Yeah, because he's like one of those people that's like he doesn't like being told. He like he's one of those like like he's one of those people that, like, one of my coworkers says he pretty much has a Napoleon complex, pretty much. So yeah, he's so yeah, it takes you pretty much have to get used to him in order to work with him. But yeah, it's just like I was dealing with him so long, and we're getting nowhere until finally, like, the other administrator
Ah.
decided to check some things out, and we found out that one of our DNS servers was down,
Bruh.
and that's what was causing this issue the whole time. And I'm just like, why couldn't he check
Really?
that beforehand? Yeah,
That's it?
yeah,
I'd be furious.
Yeah.
I'd be so furious if that was the issue.
yeah.
Which
And I was troubleshooting that for a long time, and it didn't. And like pretty much it got to a point where I'm like, I've done everything I can. It's the network admin's problem, because he's been, I don't know what he's doing or not to figure out the problem.
I'll give credit. A good network administrator is a blessing. Ours
Yeah.
is really, really good. But they can also be kind of hard to deal with sometimes.
Yeah, because that's the one I got. I got the one that's hard to deal with, because, as I said, he's got, like, one of my coworkers says that he has a Napoleon complex.
Yeah.
And as I said, like, you give him something that if you tell him an answer that he doesn't like, as I said, he gives you a paragraph back saying why you're wrong and how you're wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So he never learns, pretty much.
pretty much, yeah.
That sucks.
And from what I've been told, he was even worse when they started out with him.
Oh no. See that I don't like understand, right? Like, I'll give the network administrator at my workplace credit. He is very, very confident. He is really it's very hard for him to just go like, oh, I'm wrong. Not because he's not wrong. It's because he's been working in that place for 20 years, and he's a very good network administrator, so he barely ever does anything wrong. The few times he does, you know what his response is by default? Oh,
What's
thank
that?
you, I'll fix it.
Okay.
That's his default response. I love him.
Yeah.
He's great. But sometimes I get that, like, okay, you're just being a boomer right now.
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
you know how like USBs have the mode where they're set to be able to be pulled out at any moment instead of performance.
Mm-hmm.
I have that enabled on mine, and I keep pulling it out as soon as the file is finished without ejecting, and he goes like, you shouldn't do that, you're gonna corrupt your USB and whatnot. And I'm like, no, it's not how it works. I can corrupt the file, not the whole USB.
Yeah, but yeah, I get like pretty frustrated with this guy too, because I said, like, at this point I'm just like, okay, boomer, because like I last time I dealt with this guy, I was dealing with this issue where this one teacher should, like, for some weird reason, like, whenever she tried to log onto her computer first thing in the morning, it would always say that connection to the tree/server would not, failed, and that it wouldn't let her log in. And this only happens when she tries to log in the morning. She even, and sometimes she'll even say that even after rebooting, she'll still get the same message. But when I get over there, it's not I don't have that issue. So yeah, I just don't know what was going on with her. And I've been troubleshooting like the issue, going like thinking about what it can be. And when I tell them about this, I'm like, hey, can you check things out on your end to see if you can check the log, see if anything was anything was up with it. I even give him like the MAC address and IP address. He just goes like, I don't see anything wrong. And then he tells me that, oh, this could be a ZenWorks issue, because we use ZenWorks as our for our network. And ZenWorks, and this is an issue that was completely unrelated to ZenWorks. It does not ZenWorks doesn't cause this kind of error. And which this was even confirmed by the other admin, who is not our network admin, but she knows that this is not the case. But yeah, it's just the guy was completely no help at all, and eventually I eventually fixed it, because apparently it has something to do with her Ethernet drop, because once I swapped the Ethernet drops, I didn't hear a peep from her after that. So yeah,
I am so happy to know it is an actual borderline universal experience in IT. Because I've heard it multiple times already, and it makes me so validated to hear every time when it's like, hey, I think this is the issue. And someone who should know better just is like, no, the issue is probably this, or the issue is probably that. It's like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? This is the same issue we had last week. I already told, you already solved this. It's a you problem. What?
yeah.
Or in this case, Office, he has to basically assign students to a group manually, and for some reason, whenever we have a particular issue where a student hasn't been assigned to the group, he'll suddenly pop up and just be like, oh, that's an issue for this other department. And I'm just like, it's not. You already know what this issue is. You have fixed this issue multiple times. What are you smoking, my guy? It's like, no, please. I'm trying to tell you. You're just not listening to me. Or, sometimes I'll be like, hey, I think this is an issue with this thing's motherboard. Oh, did you check the power supply? And I'm internally, I'm like, okay, I'll give it a check. And internally, I'm just like, you fucking idiot. Of course it isn't. I already know this thing. I love him, but goddamn, sometimes he just comes to the wildest conclusions. And I saw it's network admins. I like the actual technicians don't do that. It's always network admins that just suddenly come to a conclusion out of fucking nowhere.
Oh.
I can only guess it's just they keep working on the network, and at some point they kind of become a little separate from the grunt technician work, and they kind of lose a little bit of the touch. He's really a little slow on sometimes these issues.
I want to say my worst experience working IT though has been I used to have this one area. It was pretty much like the bus garage there, and this one the secretary, unfortunately, she had a hardware problem where I think it was that her power supply was malfunctioning, and unfortunately I had the whenever we have a hardware problem like that, we give the ticket over to our hardware contractors, and they have to go and take the computer and have it fixed. And when I told them that, this one guy who is not the person who sent the ticket, he just goes acts like, what do you mean you can't fix it? And then just goes, and you're like, well, I'm gonna call I'm gonna call the superintendent, and he's gonna send someone to fix it. So yeah, he's pretty much saying that he's gonna call my boss's boss, and that he's gonna send someone to fix it. And I'm just going he's gonna send someone, like, he's gonna send another, like, technician. Like, my boss is gonna send another technician who's gonna see the problem, and he's gonna say the same thing, that this is gonna be that this is a hardware issue, and this is gonna be sent to our hardware contractor.
Hmm.
And I don't know, like, this guy's like incredible. Like, he's a pretty much like, he should be retiring, but he's too stubborn to do it. Yeah.
I do admit that's a pet peeve of mine. I hate when people like they do the equivalent of like CCing in an email like the big boss, and you're like, why do you have to go and include them? Why
Yeah.
do you have to make my life worse? You're in the wrong. Can you just not do it?
Yeah.
You can. I'll admit, nobody tilts me harder than this one department. Like basically the head of one of the departments. He loves sending emails, CCing the chancellor of the university, and never using
What?
the fucking ticket system.
Just
Good.
Just hearing that. Carry on.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I guess, like,
Sorry, just like for context, basically, if she has a problem, everyone else, they either send me an email, and I tell them to submit a ticket, because I want people to submit tickets and not send me emails. If you have a ticketing system and you have an ITS department, send them a ticket, not an email. If you send me an email and I'm out of the office, nobody's going to see your email except me when I get to the office. If you send it to the ticketing system, I guarantee you everyone will be able to see the ticket. It'll get assigned to someone and you'll get it done much sooner. Use ticket systems. He doesn't use the ticket system. He emails me directly for some reason and CC's the chancellor of the university, and I'm sitting there like, why? I'm not going to solve it faster just because the chancellor is there. Because my issue is not me. I almost always reply as soon as I can. The problem is I reply to people and tell them, hey, can you explain to me your issue? And 5 days later, I have radio silence. And I'm like, well, I guess the issue just doesn't get solved. Not my fault. I already emailed the person.
oh yeah, I hate that too. Like, where they personally email you or something like that. Like, I've even before, I also had I gave out to certain people my phone number, so in case there was ever like an emergency, like a power outage or something, they can call me and tell me that something like that happened. And this one school, and this was like the big school that I traded out for a smaller school. They, during the time when during August, September, which is our busiest time of the year, because it's the start of school, and so we're not gonna hear issues until teachers start putting in tickets out. And this is the point in the year where we get like 100 to 200 tickets. And at the time, I just got a new school. It just opened up, and it was a shit show getting that place up and running, because it was a rush. It was pretty much rushed to work to get to open. Like, it was only a weekend before. Like, it was like a week before the school was about to open, is when everyone was getting all the equipment in and everything. So yeah, it was a big rush job for that school, and I'm putting out so many fires at that school to try to get, like, doing everything I can. All the while, this other school is calling me and sending me messages, like, to my email, saying that I need to get this one printer for them working as soon as possible. And I'm just going, like, this one school makes up 1/3 of our total tickets. I do not have time to deal with this printer right now. I will get to it as soon as I can, but please be patient. They would not accept that. No, they would not accept it as an answer, because, like, they just want this one printer that they moved into this one place, even though these teachers have these other printers, but no, they just want this one printer working, and that's it. And I'm just going like, these people. And at that point, I'm just like, okay, I'm done giving people my phone number and my email.
Mhm. I gave a single coworker a phone number in the sense that I let him message me, specifically because he had a very delicate situation that needed to be addressed as time sensitive as necessary. So I
Mhm.
just did it because I needed that done ASAP. Basically, we thought he was getting like a malware, like direct hacking attempts for some reason, and he works in finance, so that needed to be dealt with immediately. He called me the next day at like barely in the morning. He was like, "Hey, are you in the office?" And I'm like, "No, my coworker's in the office." And I immediately like hung up the phone, and I answered really really nastily because he called me at like 9, 10 a.m. in the morning when I was still sleeping. I hate being woken up like that. And I felt a little bad because one of the other department directors on I believe on a Saturday called me. And to be fair to her, she got my phone number from our email system, which for some reason has my personal phone number attached to it. I really need to get that changed to my extension. Nobody else has called me, so it has been a pressing issue. But she calls me on a Saturday. I stayed up until like 5, 6 a.m. and she calls me at like 9 a.m. And she's like, "Hey, is anybody from the IT department in?" "No, it's a Saturday. Nobody's in. It's the summer semester. We're closed on Saturdays." She's like, "Oh, okay, thank you," and hangs up. And I'm just like, "Fuck off. I hate people calling me to my personal number. I'm never gonna get a work call to my personal number. Nobody will ever get my personal phone number at work. Everyone can royally eat shit and die. Contact me during my work hours." That's been my personal rule ever since. Nobody gets my personal phone number at work.
Yeah.
I will continuously refuse anyone who answers. I will refuse the president of the university if he asks. I don't give a shit. The only people who are allowed to even remotely contact me to my personal phone number are my IT department coworkers, for the sole reason that I trust them that if they really need something, they can call me because I'm going to guess it's really, really important. And only they get to call me. They don't know about it, but I will excuse them calling me as long as it's actually important. Because we all understand we hate being called to a personal phone number, so none of us give it for that reason.
But yeah, like it's pretty much I have it the same way. The only people who are pretty much I allowed to call me on my personal phone number is my coworkers, and that's it.
And it's very much a please don't abuse it scenario.
Yeah.
Also, Octosi, all this time, the prophecy held true. 90% of IT people are furries and bottoms. Welcome to the club.
I mean, like I admit, like I am a furry, but I'm definitely not a bottom. So yeah,
I call sus.
I'm not.
He's not.
Fair enough. Alright. Proof it didn't happen. Bully Ren.
He was
Well,
bullying
then-
Ren earlier.
Yeah, I was. You just missed
Hey.
it.
I didn't hear it. You should do it again.
Hey, Ren,
What's up?
tell me, have you been a good boy lately?
No, no, no.
You haven't been a good boy?
That's
I
not
don't think
what
he's been a good boy. I think he needs to prove he's been a good boy lately.
No, wait, no, this is not fair. Ah.
Okay, I almost believe you, but that's like...
I'm a good boy. I promise I am.
I don't believe you.
No, I promise.
I believe in showing, not telling.
How do I show?
We'll figure it out.
like if you told Ren, "Hey Ren, are you a good boy?" and you just locked Ren in a room, 5 hours later he'd like bust down the door and be like, "Please, I'm the goodest boy."
I like this idea. Maybe we should test it.
What?
Look.
What?
I'm just saying,
What?
Ren
Why?
is a
Why?
bottom. I'm just saying, Ren is such a bottom that I feel like Ren could like pop himself into being a bottom and calling himself a good boy if you leave Ren alone. As long as you leave the question asked. Also, be limited. I said bottom, not straight. You can be a straight furry and still be a bottom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Because you can be straight and be a bottom.
Yeah,
Like-
pegging is a thing.
Yeah. Surprisingly, there's a lot of guys that like to be pegged.
I am definitely not one of those, but I do know quite a few that do.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of being pegged either. So yeah.
Damn, Zoom. I guess I had you pegged as the wrong kind of person, eh? 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 I love it. I could see the mouth stop moving for just a moment of disappointment. But yeah, look. Sometimes, all I'm saying is sometimes, right? Censored for the sake of Sim's continued ability to continue streaming. And it feels good.
What?
As I said, sometimes censored for the ability of Zim to continue streaming, and it feels good. Hey, gotta laugh out of you, I'll take it. I feel like we should start an organization called ITA. IT Anonymous. And it's just like letting people who work in IT like gather in these little groups and just
And just vent with each other and all that.
Yeah.
Go and vent about all the ways your coworkers infuriate you by asking you how to send an email,
Yep.
despite having worked at the company for 10 years. Or here's my favorite one that will instantly trigger anyone who's experienced this. Are you using your work email? Oh no, I've never been able to log into it.
Oh yeah, I got that too. I've had people use like Gmail, like Hotmails and in different different Gmails and everything than what are the school provided email is supposed to be.
Are you using the school email? I have
Yeah.
one.
I mean, some have been legit reasons why they couldn't. Like, for example, it's just like, say a new janitor that just started working and we just haven't gotten their email activated, and also added two-factor authentication to it, because we have a block that if they don't have two-factor authentication, it's blocked after certain days after creation. And some people just don't get that set up yet, even though we have an email, even though they get a message saying you need to enable this now, or else your email is going to get blocked. And so we have to go, so that eventually that leads to their emails being blocked. They put in a ticket saying that, hey, their emails, they can't get onto their email. And then I have to come over, and then I have to tell one of my admins, hey, can you unblock this person's email so I can put two-factor authentication on there? They do that, and then I put two-factor authentication on their email, and it's not a big deal, but it's just like, a time waster. You know, like it's just tedious.
Yee.
So I'm just going like, this could have been completely avoided if you just, read your email at the very beginning saying that, hey, you need to turn this on before your email gets blocked.
Oh, here's another like tilting one. I can't log in. That's it.
Oh god. Yeah, that doesn't say a thing. That's like, you're just going like, you can't log into what?
I can't log in to the platform. Not specifying which one.
Uh-huh.
Or if you also want the other non-specific incredibly tilted one, the internet doesn't work.
Oh god, I've had some people just go like, the computer don't work. Not kidding. I'm just like, what do you mean?
I click this thing and it just doesn't work. Somebody deleted the internet.
Honestly, somebody deleted the internet is more specific. Like, okay, we're getting something.
I had one guy send a ticket saying about like he lost all his email that he had in his Gmail account. I think he either accidentally deleted it himself, or someone got onto a student got on his computer and did it. But yeah, it's like, I really can't restore deleted emails.
Or, I mean, to be fair, I will admit, I find it really, really funny when people think they can hide things from us.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
I will admit is funny. It's like, oh, I suppose I may have sent this email or something. But I think I deleted it, so I guess we'll never know. And my system admin is like, let me pull up the backups. The backups? Yeah, I keep backups of everything. Redundant backups of this, backups of that, backups of everything. There are backups that I save on tapes that I store in a bank vault. And it's like, oh no, you are going to read the email that I clearly deleted to try to save face.
Well, I don't know if we have that, but I do know that with our admin, they do have if one of our teachers is going onto sites they shouldn't be going onto, whether it's like whether it's something like where it's like something like a big like alt-right website that like legit Nazis hang out at, or or straight up porn, it gets flagged by our administrator. Yeah.
Yeah, I will admit, if you don't want to piss off anyone in the IT department, never piss off the system administrator. They have your whole browsing history.
Yeah.
Genuinely not a joke. Our system admin told us a story once. There was an employee who was complaining about being unable to do work because of the internet or whatever, and things were too slow. And he sat down with her because she kept complaining to the higher ups, and the higher ups were like, hey, deal with this. And he was like, he sat down with her and he went, hey, I want you to understand, I can see everything you've done. And she thought he was bluffing, so he pulled up the logs of every single website she visited while at work, both on the Wi-Fi with her account and on her work PC. And he just scrolled through tabs and tabs of news articles and like tabloid websites and YouTube videos and blah 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 blah. And he was like, this is what you've done since you've got here. If you keep escalating this, I will share this with your superiors. Because you won't leave me a choice. And for some reason, she decided to keep pressing the issue. Obviously, he shared it. She no longer works here for a reason. Don't piss off your system administrator.
Yep.
Yeah. Like that is a straight up fuck around and find out like a lesson right there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you befriend your system admin, they might let you browse for affinity. I haven't confirmed it. I just browse it anyway, and someday if he comes to me and he's like, "Hey, what is this website?" I'll get to know if he's a furry or not.
Good. I don't think I could get away with that with my system admin though. Like, she is nice, and we are pretty cool. But yeah, I don't think like I can get away with that at my workplace.
I can get away with it just because her system admin is so overworked right now. He does not have any time to look for people's browsers.
Mm.
Always in there.
Yeah.
Look, on the plus side though, at least FA isn't all porn.
Yeah, I know. It's got good amount of safe for work stuff.
Yeah, it's only
That's
mostly
like-
porn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
No.
why I can't schedule her there. Okay.
Do not go into restricted sites even when on break. Because
Yeah.
you're using their Wi-Fi. If you want the
Yeah.
actual explanation as to why, if you're getting to legal issues, that's still gonna appear even if you're on break.
Yeah. One thing though, with ours is it doesn't use you can scroll through stuff on your phone, and it doesn't get picked up by our system admin. Because I know that's how a good amount of students get past our system, our system settings, on the Wi-Fi. Is just by having turning their phone into a Wi-Fi hotspot, and they use their phone's Wi-Fi.
Yep.
In order, so they're using their cellular data, so they're bypassing our Wi-Fi.
Yep.
And because of that, they can go to anything.
But at that
But
point,
yeah.
it's not your problem, so nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Oh no, I
Because
guarantee
it's-
you that there has probably been at least one parent that's called up angry about you allowing that to happen.
Oh
Even
yeah,
though
like
you've got
it's
no control.
It's
Oh, yeah, well-
that's not the IT department's fault.
yeah, that's the teacher's problem, because where I'm at, there are supposed to be no cell phones in the classrooms, period, and it even goes for the teachers too. So the teachers, honestly, if they're not paying attention about the students' phones, or not even caring, that's on them, not on me.
Yep. And also the
Delimited. So very few places actually block FA because they don't know that it's a thing.
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean you should go there anyways, because they could happen to see it and find out, and you'll get in trouble.
Yeah.
But yes,
Yep.
FA is a restricted site for most places.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's really simple. Even if you're like, oh, I just had it open on my phone already, I'm sorry. It just may have loaded when I joined the Wi-Fi. What they're just gonna do is they're just gonna block it immediately because, oh, look, this loaded. Yeah, I blocked. So don't be the reason they block the website.
Yeah.
And no, VPNs don't help you.
But yeah,
I will definitely say VPNs are not the magic cure-all to things that people see. Like, they try to tell you they are, but they are not the magic cure-all to things people think they are.
Yeah.
I
If you
know,
want the
for
very short answers.
example, frickin' Holo was, she decided to pirate a game.
Oh.
And our ISP sent us a lovely email saying, we saw this copyright violation done on your internet service.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
I got also asked, was this a recent game? Is this a newish game or what?
It was.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely
Ooh.
catch that. If I ever pirate if I ever pirate a game, it's gonna be it's always abandonware game.
Yep.
It's like they don't care.
I'm not going to say what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically the ISP sent us an email saying, hey, we saw this. Naughty, naughty. No action was taken, but I still don't... we got on her really bad about that. I'm like, no, do not pirate. I don't care what your reason is. The only time I accept pirating is in the case of, one, the official version of the game is a piece of crap, and but you do own it. Like in the case of The Sims, I own it, but I pirate it because the pirated version is the superior version. It doesn't come with.
So freaking sad.
It is, but yeah, I pirate it because I don't have to worry about all the nonsense that comes with EA's nonsense. I own it, except for one of the DLC, and I don't play that one anyways because I don't want it. The Katy Perry's Sweet Trees, whatever. No pink for me. But yeah, it's just the superior version of the game. And the other thing is if the game's just not available. Which, legally, no, you're not allowed to do that, but at the same time, it's like, I would happily go buy this game if you guys had it available somewhere.
Although
Yeah,
Case in
like,
point, the Fire Emblem games for the GameCube and Wii. Those
Oh,
are
yeah, like, I know-
not available.
Yeah, like I heard the Path of Radiance is like $300
yeah,
if you can find a copy.
same for Pokemon White and Pokemon White 2. They're really expensive.
It's
Yeah,
like they
it's a-
sold
a-
so few, they made so few copies of it, and they won't release it digitally. And I personally am just sitting here like, please just release it digitally.
Yeah, and
Mostly because I don't
and
want
as
to
a-
deal with the headache of emulators.
yeah, and that's, as I said, that's why like I'll do abandonware games, because again, like the publisher for the last one
Oh.
I downloaded
Speaking of
doesn't
Holo.
exist anymore, which is Sierra.
Speaking of Holo, hi. I'm okay with you pirating a game you own. You own it, pirate it. If it works better on PC, go for it. It's the same case like I was saying with The Sims. The pirated version is the superior version. But I can show that I own it.
I mean, look, I still think the very broadly simple answer is if I can't actually own the game, then it's not stealing. Just don't get caught. Yar har.
Yeah.
That's my logic to it. I don't like pirating small indie games. I don't like pirating things where the actual lack of a purchase would cause tangible harm to either studios that I think are good, developers that I think deserve it, that kind of thing. Oh no, EA lost $60. What a shame. Surely they'll never financially recover from this, and their owners will get a massive golden parachute. Blah blah.
Yeah. And yeah, as I said, like the game that I got, the publisher doesn't exist anymore, which is Sierra. Like they went out of business a long time ago. It's like they're not gonna make a
Wow.
fuss.
They got bought
Like-
out.
Yeah. But still, like they're not gonna make a fuss because like I don't know who owns the right to No One Lives Forever. I know Monolith, the developers, are still around, but they're definitely not working on the game anymore, or like the game series at all. But yeah, I would love to get like like a legal copy of the, like I would love to try to get a legal copy, but like there's no way you can anymore, and because it's not, you can't get it on digital distributors because because of copyright issues or like licensing issues. So yeah, so you can't legally get one. So that's
Yeah.
why I decided to go that route.
I really want. I heard Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is really good. I really want to play it.
Oh yeah, I've heard it too. Like I heard the remake's really good.
Yep.
Honestly, totally fair review. And the only thing I just say is be careful with pirating new games because they tend to be a lot more alert when it's new.
Well, when it comes to that sort of thing, it's like we've got a legal defense. We are legally allowed to have a backup for stuff that we purchased. And if you had mentioned you own it, I would have backed off right away, Holo, but you never mentioned that.
A prudent choice.
The only thing I knew was you just pirated it. Even still, be careful about it because, well, we don't want to get caught, but yeah. Manny the Bat, thank you very much for that follow. Welcome.
But yeah, especially if it's Nintendo, because Nintendo, yeah, they will come for you if they find out.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we are literally sitting here like, please, just give us the game.
We would buy it.
Buy it.
We would actually buy the game.
I will.
I mean, they did
if
they did remake it, but yeah, but still.
If they release
Only on the Switch.
Yeah. I'm good with the Switch. I like the Switch.
Yeah, same.
But God, if they were to like, I haven't done it yet, but I want to. I want to play those Fire Emblem games for the Wii and Switch.
Oh,
Or the Wii and GameCube.
Not fall.
oh,
Oh wow! Holy crap!
7 rated my stream with 82 views.
Hello there, Zaldar. Welcome. How was your stream? Hello, Zaldar. Welcome in. I am Razim. Everybody, we're currently talking about random stuff, and right now playing a game called Big Ambitions, where your goal, I should probably pause, your goal is to take over the city with business.
Community grew.
Zaldar, would you like a regular shout out or a random clip from your channel brought up? And welcome in True Chaos, welcome in Soft Diamond. Oh, hey, Soft. Welcome in Acheron. Hello there, Furry Love. Mr. Gart, welcome. Hello there, Zukita. Thank you for that follow, Furry Love and True Chaos. And yeah, welcome in. Thank you so much for sharing your community with me. I really appreciate it. We do all sorts of things, lots of games. Lately, mostly Big Ambitions and Guild Wars 2. We also have a lot of tabletop games throughout the week. Pathfinder, several Pokemon games, a Digimon tabletop RPG. We have artists that come and join us throughout the week. From 2D to 3D, you know, lots of artists. And yeah, we just generally have a good, the vibes here are just friends hanging out, mostly. Asteroid Claw, thanks for that follow, welcome. And again, thank you so much for sharing your community with me there, Zaldar. Hope you had a fantastic stream.
the lives today are sharing PTSD IT work stories. And also, Ren is a good point.
Ren is a very good boy.
And also, Quack. You know, I never thought about it. But if you really think about it, reading a book is like desecrating a grave.
Unwavering purpose.
What?
Oh yeah, you know, books are dead trees or something.
Perfect name right now. Wow. Thanks for that follow. GibCab, your mind is interesting.
I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or as an insult, but I might take it as both simultaneously.
I'll be right back.
Okay. I mean, it's like, what's a car if not a vehicle propelled by organic graveyards? 'Cause that's all oil is, right? It's just like, you know, long dead organic matter. It's carbon. It's a graveyard-powered mobility vehicle.
GibCab,
Yes.
pet.
If you eat on a table, you're eating on the body of a dead tree.
Pet.
How far can you take necromancy? If you use your necromantic powers on a table, would it become a tree?
Sure.
Can a necromancer use raise the dead on the floor? And if so, what would it become?
So, anyways,
Never thought of that. something you should explain what you're doing right now, what the game's about.
right now I'm just wrapping my head around whatever you're going on about there. Right now I'm in IKEA.
Oh no, I love IKEA.
Ah, VR chat, very nice.
I'm back.
Oh, I should do
Welcome
the I wanna
back,
watch it.
my very good boy. Such a good squeaky toy.
Yeah, he's very squeaky right now. You just want to like just
Squeeze.
sink that teeth in and make him squeak real loud.
Well, you made him peek his mic.
Well, that's not what I had in mind, but I think that works. I like what you're thinking.
Oh, what I would give to be able to keep this flatbed.
You don't get to keep the flatbed, it belongs to IKEA. This is what makes IKEA successful in this universe. Successfully monopolized the patent of the flatbed.
They are the only place I've seen that you can use them. And I have taken them from the IKEA before, but I had to manually run it back and forth.
Well,
Hey,
that's
Cosmo.
Hey, Cosmo. I do have a question, Master.
What's that?
What time are we actually gonna start Guild Wars 2?
I am... Right now we're looking at 2 or 3 p.m. Central.
Okay, good. Like, are we gonna actually just stay up and play Guild Wars, or are we gonna, go to sleep before?
You know, I've been meaning to ask about Guild Wars since I been playing it a little bit. But like do I need to just level up my character before I can join you guys in the main ones, or just just do my own thing for a while?
Right now we are playing in level 80 stuff, which is max level. So yeah, like we can come join you for things, but you coming to join us is not really something we can do.
Gotcha. Okay. Thought that would have been the case.
But I will say, right now, the DLCs are on sale, and you do get a level 80 boost for with the purchase of the DLCs. Hello there, Extinct Train. Welcome in. And thank you. No, we're not, Cosmo. We're gonna get sleep and then do Guild Wars later today. We are thinking also somewhere between 10 and 11 tonight we will do some more Guild Wars for the record, Ren.
Sweet. I mean, I have nothing. I'm not doing anything for Sunday, so.
What is morning?
Yeah.
I have.
Which, anyway, speaking of sleep, I should probably get some sleep. It's like 5:16 in the morning for me right now.
Aww. Alright. Well, thank
Have a
you
good
so much
night.
for hanging out.
Yeah.
You should stop by. We can vent more about IPPTSD.
Yeah. But yeah, I need to try to get some sleep. Alright, I'll see everyone later.
See, yes.
Bye. And the main reason why I went to BRB is because, like, hey, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I should probably take my night medicine.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I just got a whole bunch of achievements for renting out this apartment.
Nice.
Apparently, it's fruitful to have multiple... Actually, I could see how it would be beneficial to have multiple apartments. I think I'll leave all my stuff over there and just get new stuff for this apartment.
If only I could afford something like that in real life.
I know, right? I don't feel like sleeping over there today. I'm just gonna go sleep in my in this apartment tonight.
Some mage said, "What is this kind of privilege at this?" I'm just like, I don't want to go over there. Let me just sleep in this apartment. Honestly, you know what your character, like, you know what the reason your character's successful in this game? You know what makes your character such a powerful character? It's the fact that he can just sleep at will. That's what's terrifying about this motherfucker.
That is true. That is true. If I have the power to sleep at will, I would so abuse it.
Oh, imagine just being able to go, damn, I am going to now lay down and get 8 hours of sleep and be fully rested.
Yep.
Wish I had that power.
I am kind of surprised you're still streaming though, Master.
And what's up, Beerus? Okay, then we'll delay it to 3, Beerus, but you'll need to make sure that you are here on time then. Since I am delaying it for you.
Because if you're 5 minutes late, Zim is going to just, like, I don't know, eat you. No, I got it. Zim is going to break your lamp.
Oh.
Zim, would you break a lamp? Just to torture them all?
Yes.
Good. Good. Oh, you're not Asher right now. No, you're Paint. You can't be mean.
They're currently occupied? How are they occupied right now? Oh, crap. I should probably figure out where my apartment actually is. 66th and 5th. Okay.
That would be important.
Yes, deliver it tomorrow at 2 a.m. Yes, we will take one of these, and, oh yes, definitely need the coffee machine. I don't remember what all I purchased already, so I'm just gonna throw stuff together here. We'll get a couple of those. Get that. Gotta get the gaming chair.
I hate gaming chairs.
I
Oh?
do too.
I will die on the hill that I think gaming chairs, unless they are dirt cheap, are a scam. And
Oh, yeah,
if you care about posture, if you care about comfort, buy an office chair.
I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. If you're gonna tell me, would you rather get a $120 gaming chair or a really shitty chair, get the gaming chair. If you're gonna tell me, would you rather get a $400 gaming chair or would you rather get a good quality $400 office chair that you're gonna have to assemble on your own, get the office chair. It's worth it.
Yep.
I unfortunately am limited on what I can get because I am fat.
No, totally fair. Don't get me wrong. There's a specific reason I said there are, for most case intents and purposes, like, unless it's dirt cheap, I borderline consider them scam. Some gaming chairs, I'll give them credit. Some of them are good. Some of them have some really nice features that office chairs have yet to like adopt. In this case, for instance, a lot of gaming chairs have higher weight capacities, and that's unironically a good thing. Like, yes, I would like my chair to support more than 80 kilograms for the gas piston, whatever. 80 kilograms is not enough. Thank you. This thing costs $200. It can hold 150 kilograms, and it's way comfier than the chair I have at work, which I know from Googling it that at the time of purchase cost $300 because it was a cool new gaming chair, and it only supports up to 80 kilograms. So when I sit on it, it starts to slide down. It's a $300 chair, and it's uncomfortable as shit compared to my chair, which I bought from IKEA at a discount for $200, and it's great. To be fair, again, to be completely fair, fully in interest of fairness, when gaming chairs are done well, I think they're a very reasonable alternative for when you're either limited in some areas of office chairs or when you want something really price competitive. They can be good. But I think most of the time you can solve your chair issue by going to IKEA and looking for the right chair.
See, I saved a huge amount of money to buy this wonderful chair, and ever since I did that, I do have a little bit issues, but not as much as I used to have, and it's so worth it. Because I realized, like, I use a chair literally every day. Might as afford something that will support me every day and not hurt me.
Yeah. Ah, we got a delivery set for tomorrow. Let's go ahead and go over here to our new apartment and see that it's probably completely packed with furniture already. And I better come steal a hand truck from in here because that at least can be put in my car.
Mhm.
And I highly doubt my apartment's gonna come with one.
What if it does, though?
I know.
Well, then I just set it down and, you know, enjoy my new, and it'll disappear after a while.
Yeah. I was about to say, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna save it for the next penthouse you buy, S1E10.
Well, I did just buy the biggest size of apartment I could.
Bruh.
Well, this is an interesting layout.
And imagine if this is how it worked in real life, where you could just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna buy an apartment. Yoink. Imagine
Life
being
would-
able to buy living space.
Yeah. That's... I don't like this layout. I don't.
There, like, I feel like that other room should be connected to the bedroom.
Yeah.
It's kind of cursed. You should switch the bedroom and other rooms, I think.
Is there a bathroom here?
There is no bathroom outright. The game doesn't really
Bathroom.
have one. But I'm thinking this would be the bed, this will be the bedroom. That'll basically be the closet / office. This will be the kitchen, and then we got the living room.
It just looks wrong without... It just looks wrong without the bathroom.
Well, we don't have to poop or anything, so... I will say I kind of hope that they, what?
You are an immortal being. Let's be
Yes.
You know?
How many times have I been hit by a car?
How many times have you had an anvil dropped in your head?
That too.
Oh,
Shadow, to answer your question there, so for designing Asher, first off, I started, one of the first things that I did was actually look up, I started by looking up, you know, a base design. Wound up going with Labramon, but I didn't like the long floppy ears. The tail was kind of weird as well, so I decided to forgo that. And it was mostly just a process of picking and choosing the different things that I wanted. Of course, the black and red, that was easy because, well, black and red are my favorite colors. As for the design on his face, that is a the design on the markings on his face is one of the crests, in particular the crest of miracles. And that in turn influenced some of his background as well. I have no idea, Neo. I am not playing Amazing Cultivation Simulator. I don't give a damn.
what's feng shui?
What's that?
What's that word, feng shui?
Feng Shui,
Feng shui.
it's a Japanese idea of setting out a room properly for spiritual growth and mental wellness and stuff.
Oh, Oh well, the Japanese are cringe, so damn.
I will say that from what I have seen, whether it might be a big hoax for a lot of it, there is some merit. One thing, for example, that they emphasize is not to clutter your life. So wherever you set up your desk, you want it to be free from clutter. Oh, thank you, Delimited.
No, I mean I think.
Oh, it's Chinese, not Japanese? It probably is.
Fair enough. I do think that kind of depends, though, right? Because like sometimes having a cluttered space isn't that bad, whereas sometimes I definitely think like, yes, please clean up your space. So it just kind of depends. Like, oh, I have my little personal desk where I fuck around all the time and I do whatever I want. Yeah, I don't mind having that cluttered. I have my little workspace. Yeah, I might in that case. I want to keep that clear because having a messy work environment is not really having a good work environment. So that all depends. See, if I like cooking, if I just have a bunch of shit around because I'm just making a bunch of food and I don't really care, having a bit of clutter is fine. We'll clean up later. I want to be able to make a very nice, very clean meal, and I'm like treating myself to a wonderful set of ingredients to make good food. Yeah, good food requires a clean kitchen. Yeah.
Oh, I'm making so much more with my supermarket now. Oh, that's so nice.
Nice.
Bought a supermarket?
Huh?
You bought a supermarket?
Oh, I set one up. But people were complaining about pricing, so I lowered the pricing of things, and now they are definitely not. I'm definitely doing much better with the business. Oh, my gift shop is having issues, but there's no indication as to what might be causing that.
It's flower competition. Big Flower doesn't want you to start up your own flower shop.
I think I might go to bed right now.
Alright, good night.
Yeah, the medicine is hitting me, and yeah, dozing off.
Sleep well, my very good boy.
Night, night, master. Have a good night when you go to bed.
It's never gonna happen. Someone's never gonna go to bed, right, son?
Oh no, I will.
No, you won't. Never. Ever. I'll keep you hostage here.
No, I'm gonna go to bed when I'm ready to go to bed.
You're gonna leave me here, abandon me.
Yes.
It's so hard to help. Bravo.
Well, it turns out having a whole bunch of lawyers make a lot of money. I didn't think I would actually make that much money by having all these lawyers, but, well, here we are.
You know, sometimes I stare at the legal profession and I sometimes question why did people become lawyers? It's so tedious and annoying and bleh and stupid, right? And it's so much work.
Because money?
Yeah, and then like I sometimes read stories and it's like I read this Reddit story and it's just, yeah, so I started in the legal profession 5 years ago. I'm 31 and I just won a major case and my payout was $1.2 million, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, hold up, I'm becoming a lawyer tomorrow. What now? Oh, granted, that whole thread was just full of, yeah, you got lucky, this is not normal, this is not the norm, you usually have way more years of experience before you get this kind of payout, and I'm like, damn. I'd want $1.2 million from like the 31. Yes, please.
Yeah.
At the current rate I'm going, it's going to take me 40 years to make $1.2 million.
If you're lucky.
No, it's if I work my job and my job salary straight continuously forever from now on, I will make $1.2 million in 40 years. Of course, I'm finally beginning to hope for them to hire me. So hopefully, eventually, that will result in something. I hope this month. Oh yeah, I should have mentioned Octo was here. You know what they hit us with, Sim?
What?
Alright. So we need to buy stuff as a department, right? We set up a shopping list and we sent it to them. And they came up with a brilliant plan to save money.
Oh
What
no.
if we just don't buy stuff? So like, what if they just don't buy what we asked them to buy for us? Like, I
Okay.
can't disagree. I can't disagree. It'll save them money. For now. It just means we don't have SSDs or keyboards or mouse or well, at least wireless ones, which we do need. And you know, we want to get new monitors or batteries for our UPSs or new UPSs. We also want to get a bunch of cables and replacements that we need. We also want to get the supplies that we need. But it's not that bad, right?
Hi there, furry love.
Puppy love. Oh yeah, do you think Whiskers would take commissions of dogs?
Yes.
I had the idea that maybe for my sister's birthday I should just commission Art of Puppy.
Go for it.
Granted, that'll be in like 8 or 9 months, but you know, I'll be funny. The thought, because we love taking pictures of Puppy. I just figured, you know what? Maybe she does just need art. Because the picture can only capture so much, right? That's gonna have a thought. What better way to immortalize Puppy than art? Also, Puppy's so cute. You know what she was doing today?
What?
She was falling asleep on her, like, undersized bed. And obviously, like, her head was, like, drooping out the side of the bed. And she kept, like, trying to hang. Because, like, the bed has, like, raised sides. On 3 of the sides. And she kept trying to, like, put her head up on one of them. And the head would just, like, slide down. And she'd, like, wake up and then, like, shift her head. So I just placed my hand on her head. And she just laid her head on my hand and slept with my hand as the pillow. And I was just like, oh my god, I can't move my hand. But she's so cute. I don't want to move.
Sounds about right.
I love her so much. She's so cute. She's such a gremlin too. She kept trying to bite my sleeves, and I kept being like, no. And then eventually she fell asleep because she got tired. And I was just sitting there like, you might be a little crocodile, but goddamn it, I love you.
And that's how she gets you.
Yes. The funniest part is like I never was opposed to my little sister getting a puppy. My mom hates dogs. And she just has a weird relationship with animals. She just never really gets along with them, technically. But it turns out she's come to really love the puppy. And when I say really, like, when Puppy first got here, picture this. Picture a puppy tiny enough to fit, like, in both of your hands, if you put them together. So Puppy's very small, Puppy's very scared, Puppy's very shy. She's just not sure what the apartment is, she's afraid to walk around, the floor is cold, everything is weird and big. Mom was afraid of her when she was like less than half a year old.
Sounds about right.
Imagine her teeth not even being like big enough to actually cause harm. And if the dog so much as growled at mom, mom would actually get scared. The only way mom survived is because basically whenever the dog mildly threatened to do something threatening, even if by accident, she'd scream and the dog would get scared. And that was her defense against dog. Scream really, really loudly and the dog is gonna get scared. Like, it's for real. Like when she was here, like relatively young still, she would often run after us because you know she's the young little puppy. She wants company. She wants to be like cared for, and she wants to run after us. So one time, mom ran back to her room, and the puppy began chasing her, and she started running away from the puppy who was chasing her. And mind you, puppy's still like small enough to fit in a shoe. So just imagine grown-ass woman running away from a puppy small enough to fit in your shoe.
I can 100% believe it.
And now mom loves her. She'll like bite mom on the finger and mom is just like, oh, it's fine, she's just playing. And like dog is like gnashing her teeth like a fucking crocodile. Mom's just like, that's fine. Oh, you know. And actually, as bears, I think people are unnaturally afraid of rats, and I think it's silly. Even for a lot of illnesses, they're not really directly born out of rats. They're often born out of animals that prey on rats, or animals that are parasites to rats and the like, which still doesn't necessarily take away from the fact that under certain conditions you could view them as unhygienic, but people are afraid of rats too much. Rats are so cute when they're little, like, cute goblins and grumbling around. Rats are cute.
I was not expecting this kind of a rant today, but okay.
What, the rats are cute?
Yeah.
They are. Like, unironically. Like,
You're not gonna get argument from me. I just was not expecting that, you to be arguing this point so thoroughly.
Cat rats are cute. Spiders are not cute. But I think spiders are cool in their own way. Like, if you put a spider in a little cage that they have and it's safe for them and safe for me, I'll gladly watch a spider. Because I think they're fascinating. I think they're terrifying, but I think they're fascinating. But that's just because I'm scared of spiders. They're cool. Like, oh, look at this little weird 8-legged animal capable of weaving threads that technically have a higher tensile strength than a lot of really tough human materials. And also they get to like build their own little homes and catch predators, and they're also lightning quick. And they inject fluid into you which liquefies you from the inside and they slurp it out.
Gib Gab?
Yeah, they... What?
We don't need this much detail. Thank you.
Like, look, all I'm saying is I think they're cool. I think they're really weird and cool, and they're just scary. I love watching videos of people taking care of spiders, but I still jump when the spider jumps at the camera. I wouldn't want to take care of a spider. That's because I don't know how to do it. Rats, though. Rats are not as hard to take care of if you know what you're doing, and they're also really, really cute. I really like rats. But I also love even more the best rodent ever, which is the capybara. Capybaras are awesome. What? They're cool.
You know my issue with capybaras.
I actually don't know.
From the time of doing, Planet Zoo.
I don't remember.
Every 5 minutes, I had to go check on them because they were breeding out the wazoo.
Okay, but that's just because capybaras are awesome, okay? Look. Sure, they may have been a pain in the ass with their breeding, but I have to respect the fact that capybaras are just a nature's friend shape, okay? Like, look, you just see them and they're peaceful. It's zen. It's beautiful. It's awesome. And they just sit there and, like, they're cool. And that's it. They vibe. They exist. They're just chilling. They're grilling. They're vibing in the purest sense possible. They've achieved a level of enlightenment that would make the Buddha jealous.
I can agree, they are adorable.
Yeah, and everyone has to respect them. Like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna mess with the capybara? No, you're gonna let them chill in the hot springs. Because they deserve it. Because they're cute and they're just chilling. Capybaras are cool. I've also come to really appreciate, like, crocodiles and alligators. I used to think they were weird and stinky, but honestly, they're kind of pure. They're kind of really pretty. They're like, just vibing, right? And then they're terrifying, and then they're vibing again. They just sit there like little goblins waiting to bite something. But then when they're kind of chill, they just relax. And you can see them, and they're just being chilling. And sometimes you can get close, and they just chill. And you're like, oh damn, maybe they're not that terrifying. But then they act all predatory and like chomp and death roll, and you're like, oh shit, these things are terrifying. Now I understand why they outlived the dinosaurs.
How have you not heard Gib Gab speak on a subject in such detail? That is like Gib Gab's entire shtick. No offense, but...
I'm gonna go lay down in bed and cry. All I can do is talk about things in detail, apparently. I can't hold a normal conversation.
Sleep well.
Cry. But look, alligators are cool. Crocodiles are a little more terrifying. But if you can kind of handle them both, which I don't recommend anyone tries to do, they're kind of cool, actually. It's just, I don't know, they're weird animals. They're so... Well, they're literally basically dinosaurs, right? Not in the literal sense that they're dinosaurs. They're just ancient animals that fundamentally remain the same because they have a really successful biological design, which is like, that's really cool on one hand. But also it's just like, what do you even do, bro? You just sit in a river, poke your eyes out, and stare for things that come close to them chomp, and you're just like, oh, that's not unnatural. But then they're cute. And you just look at them and they're cute, and it's like, why are you cute? And I want to pet them. Which, like, a human's ability to pet everything is why we're the dominant species on this planet, okay? Let nobody tell you otherwise. Our ability to pet everything is what makes us powerful. Like, okay. Technically, a human's greatest advantage is sweat. It's our ability to sweat to regulate our body temperature, to basically outlast anything either trying to outrun us, or to catch up to anything trying to run away from us. Like, if you want the perfect way to describe it, if you make a human chase a dog, the dog is gonna run away from the human, but eventually, the human will catch up to the dog will overheat, start panting, slow down, eventually collapse, and, just, chill out. The human will catch up to the dog and still be fine. Sweat is incredibly overpowered. We just don't think about it because we sweat. But a lot of animals don't deal well with heat. We really do. We are amazing at dealing with a certain range of heat. You know, if it's too cold or too hot, we don't like that. But then at a certain point, yeah, we do very well. It's super cool. And then, yeah, we throw things. And we're incredibly overpowered. But what I think is our most dominant ability is our ability to see the most horrifying animals that might exist on this planet, the most deadly predators, anything that should make our primal fear instincts rise up and like tickle the back of our neck hairs. Anything that makes us go, oh shit, I shouldn't touch that, and instead go, I want to pet that. Look at this terrifying pack hunter, this fluffy four-legged creature with an excellent sense of smell, deadly bites, and wonderful pack hunting tactics. I want to pet the puppy. Look at this deadly feline creature, big feline, hunts in in groups. Look at this lion. I want to pet the kitty. And yes, sharks, we do that too. We can pet sharks. We have learned that sharks are actually pettable. And if the shark tries to attack you, you just rotate the idiot. So what I'm saying is, petting is incredibly overpowered. I don't know what natural instinct possessed us to develop the ability to pet things and to want to pet things, but I am so thankful that we want to pet things because petting things is awesome. Can you imagine if we never developed the natural ability to pet things? Like imagine if we could never pet puppy and enjoy it. But instead, no, we got so much dopamine out of petting puppy or petting kitty. Some people get dopamine out of petting snakes or sharks. I want to pet everything. I wish there was like a way that I could just go to a shark and be like, hello puppy, and pet the water puppy. Yes, exactly, Karma. Crows were weird and creepy, and now we pet the bird. Pet the bird. Animals like being pet as long as you respect them. And the animal actually does like being petted. And we like petting animals. And petting the puppies is overpowered.
This hamlet shall not fall.
Speaking of kitty.
Rinth the Katato raided my stream with 16 viewers.
Hello. How was your stream? Thank you so much for that raid. Welcome in, Jeff Aaron. Welcome, Rin. Thank you for that follow, Jeff. Rin, would you like a regular shout out or a random clip from your channel brought up? Oh god, you want a computer monitor? No. Get out of here. Sure, I'll hire you.
There you go.
Tenants found outside their homes will be considered part of the rebel forces and treated as such.
He just fell off the edge. Oh, I love it. I'm not the only one that does that. See? He just wandered right off the edge while trying to shoot at me. Oh, that gave me way too much joy.
So, what I get from that clip is that you were being a cat and you knocked him off the ledge.
That is a very cat thing to do. I'm proud. As part cat, I respect that.
Though unfortunately, I was planning to wrap up right about now.
Yeah, but now you can't. You have 77 viewers.
Uh,
I found it really funny that I began talking about petting animals and I saw your view count rise up in real time.
of course. Shadow Wolf, unfortunately, that is something that I only allow for raids more than 5 or more. I've heard some horror stories about people raiding with less than that, and so I apply the rule blanket. Regardless of whether I know you or not, everybody has the same rules. It's kind of a core part of ZGF itself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there was a streamer friend of mine used to do it for everybody, and then he had somebody raid with just himself, and the only clip on their channel was them just staring at the screen shirtless while watching his stream. It was creepy as hell.
I'd be very creeped out. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't allow it for under 5 viewers. Hello there, Diavolo.
Man. If you really think about it.
Yes,
Isn't the
basically
modus-
lurk.
Yes. It genuinely unnerves me to think about it. It's like, ugh.
You
Yeah, just
see
imagine
why I don't allow it. I do not want to ever come across that ever.
Honestly,
No.
I figured it wouldn't even be that. I just figured it'd be something like someone, I don't know, yelling bannable stuff on Twitch into like a clip or something.
That is also something that I have worries about, but that at least is something that I don't think I'd get into trouble for, because it's like, it shows on the screen what channel that's coming from, what's going on there. Sure, I'm going to have to edit the video later and cut that part out, but it's like, hey, Twitch, yeah, this happened.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
But it's still
technically that person doing that was not a bannable offense. It's just creepy as hell.
I can only imagine it was like one of those rooms with really poor lighting.
Joke.
So everything was just like even more awkward.
I don't know. All I know is that that's what I was asking him about, and he was like, yeah, that happened.
Why are people? But yeah, I was gonna say, if you really think about it, what is a Mogus but if not a broad reflection of society's relationship to the internet? Have you ever thought about that?
Nope, can't say I have.
Alright. Here's my
Hi, Val.
completely nonsensical.
I was just saying hi to Val.
Yeah, here's my completely nonsensical, totally unreasonable critique of Amogus. Alright?
Okay,
If you think about...
carry on. I'm waiting.
Sorry, I'm just... If you think about it, right? What do you do in Among Us? You do menial, useless tasks. You basically try to survive. That's about it. But if you're the imposter, that's where the game becomes interesting. Because your job is to sabotage people to win. And if you think about it from a certain perspective, you can kind of think of it like the internet, right? Put it into this perspective. A lot of people who are well-meaning, a lot of people who have no ill intention, who just want to ride out their days, doing their menial labor, and enjoy themselves with friends, you know, hang out, chill, vibe, all the good shit, right?
Joke.
You want to help each other, you want to be chill, life is good. And then you get bad actors, people who are deliberately conspiring to ruin everything for everyone else. And it becomes a blame game. Because, fundamentally, Among Us represents the fact that we can't systemically fix these issues. We can't ever stop there from being an imposter by the very nature of how the game is set up. Much like how in the modern world, the whole system is essentially rigged against the average person. The internet is dominated by big corporations who get to do whatever they want. Our main general systems are just biased towards people with a lot of money who get to do whatever they want, and we all suffer in the end. And it's like they're deliberately trying to play the game to screw us over as much as possible. And you can see the imposter as the personification of this, as the manifestation of the will of the system to screw you over as much as it can. And instead of being able to change that system, what we do is point fingers at each other. What we do is go, this is your fault, trying to find the imposter, with the imposter sowing confusion and chaos between us to divide and conquer. It is this way where the imposters have power. It's what the imposters represent. It's these people on the internet who have YouTube channels solely dedicated to stirring up chaos and shit and who never get banned by YouTube for some reason. It's the kind of people who like farm drama content then deliberately create it and go out of their way to start shit. Or it's the people who control YouTube who decide to start trying to block adblock because blocking adblock clearly is the right idea. It's this deliberate sabotage, trying to almost make the world a worse place on purpose. And if you look at it from that perspective, what is Among Us if not a critique of our modern societal systems, of the internet, of the society we live in? A desperate desire to live in peace and happiness, and yet being forced to constantly fight against those who might otherwise be friends, because the system is putting us up to fight one another. We don't have a choice but to participate in it. Yeah, I was trying to broaden it a little bit more than that, Ren. I just mostly kept it to the internet because I think it sort of works a little more when I try to think of like big personalities online who are a little better represented by being the imposters, whereas, you know, if we were talking about society as a whole, that would be the game itself. You could consider the game society.
Gib Gab, you are a delight to have here.
A what light, are you sorry? Are you calling me a D light?
Yes.
I'll have you know I'm a B light at most. I don't think I'm an A light. I don't think I get to that quite that point, but I think a B light would at least suffice. After all, I totally did not provide the lighting for the B movie, and that's what makes me a B light.
My brain is not parsing anything that you're saying now.
Good, it doesn't make sense.
Unfortunately, guys, as much as I would love to keep going, I seriously would. I should do the self-care thing and call it here. Good night, Grin. I'm gonna go as well. Thank you everybody for joining us today for Big Ambitions. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. There on the website, as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. You guys are the ones that keep this channel alive and going. And thank you as well to the raiders that came in tonight. You guys are incredible. I appreciate you all coming by and checking out the channel here. I hope to see you guys back here again soon. But you consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/ZGFgaming. It's one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by sharing the stream around, as well as coming by, grabbing packs of cards to stream loots, subscribing to our YouTube. I'm probably stumbling around a bit, so I'm just gonna say I bid you all the most fondest adieu. Good night, everybody.